This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. Just 24 hours old and life hangs in the balance for the new woolly monkey arrival.
It's still way too early to say whether or not, this little guy is gonna make it or not.
In the chimp nursery, young Brian gets hassle from lovable hooligan Sheamus. And chimp Charlie is being picked on. Are his days living with the Bachelor group numbered?
Charlie's always been a loner. I don't think he sees any point in chimpanzees whatsoever.
Monkey World Ape Rescue Centre operates a non-breeding policy with most of its 15 species of primates, but the orangutans, golden cheek gibbons and woolly monkeys are all endangered species, and every new arrival is precious. Woolly monkey babies rarely survive in captivity. They're extremely difficult to keep healthy as they suffer from social stress and high blood pressure. But 5 healthy woolly babies have been born at the park, and yesterday marked the birth of the latest arrival. And he's being hand-reared by park director Allison.
It was a long night, but actually we did pretty well. I came home with the intention of having to feed him every single hour, but it became clear from the start that he didn't want to be fed every hour. So I backed off, and really we sort of went every 2 hours last night. And, we're just taking it easy and relaxing, and I think he's, slowly but surely getting hydrated again. He was a little bit dehydrated yesterday, and that's better now. Good boy.
Allison's an old hand at playing mum to woolly babies.
Yes, I know. Oh, yes, you're such a good boy.
18 months ago, she hand-reared Julio. He now lives with his woolly family, and he's looking good. Hopefully, Allison can give this little one the same start in life.
There have been a few shocks and surprises along the way. I've done Julio before, so I sort of knew what to expect. But this little guy, I guess it isn't surprising, is quite a bit different than Julio. To begin with, he was born not a third again more, but almost a third again more in weight. Julio was 313 grams. This little guy was 410 yesterday. I think he's a little more together and alert in terms of looking around and the eyes focusing. But the biggest and most shocking thing is that, he's been a bit grizzly, and he wasn't on for sort of taking feeds every hour. And so I sort of started checking him out, and at one point in time he did latch onto my finger, and what I found is that he's already cut his first 3 teeth. And he's got, if I can get his lips open there, you can see the 2 top teeth and the 2 top incisors poking through, and his canine tooth on the top left has also come through and is quite pointy and sharp. So this poor little guy, within the first 24 hours of his life, is already teething. Julio was day 11 for the teeth.
But even though he looks fit and healthy, this little woolly is not out of danger yet.
Within the first 24 hours, it's still way too early to say whether or not, this little guy is gonna make it or not. He's cute as a button, and we're gonna do everything we can to ensure that, like Julio, he gets the very best start in life. But it is very early days yet, and really anything could happen. I'm feeding him with the dropper, and because of the teething thing, it's not exactly a good eater at the moment. But, he's getting there, but we still have to be very cautious about him inhaling any of the milks. Just one little drop of milk into his lungs, which aren't fully inflated and developed yet, would be bad, and he could get a lung infection. There's also any, colds, flus, bacteria in the world. There was a little sneeze. But, you can't panic about things. You have to sort of remain calm, not worry about necessarily sort of how much he's eating, just to make sure that he's not dehydrating, and let him lead the way.
Later, Allison's mothering duties become distinctly less glamorous.
Hey, we've had a huge pee. That's excellent news.
And stump-tailed macaque Jonathan's losing his hair. It's not a pretty sight. Living in the chimp Bachelor Pad is one of the park's most lovable characters, Charlie. Charlie's weathered face is a reminder of his upsetting past, which has left him looking much older than his 27 years. When he arrived at the park, he was a drug addict with cataracts, fractured feet and a broken jaw. 18 years of rehabilitation saw him improve and enjoy life in the group. But Charlie is a placid chimp who doesn't like conflict, and recently he struggled with life as one of the boys. They don't share their food with him, and he finds playtime too rough. Food is Charlie's biggest passion, and today he's looking forward to being given an alternative treat: tree branches. As well as fruit, vegetables and healthy snacks, leafy branches are a regular part of a chimpanzee's diet.
Come on, Charlie.
The group enjoy the branches, but Charlie's been left out again. He's finding it increasingly difficult to compete with the others. Charlie doesn't have a best friend. He moves in on Buxom to see if he will share, but Buxom can be aggressive. Over the last few months, Charlie has been getting more nervous around the big guys. He only has 3 teeth to protect him, and his position in the group hierarchy is sliding. But Charlie's love of food is stronger than his fear. While Buxom's polishing off the leaves as quickly as he can strip them from the branches, Charlie plucks up the courage to grab a few sneaky bits. It's good to see Charlie's finally getting a taste, and although it's not in a chimp's nature to share, Buxom tolerates Charlie, for now. Charlie's health and happiness are very important to the Monkey World team. They're beginning to wonder if the Bachelor Pad is the best place for him. The chimpanzee nursery is currently home to 8 chimps. The newest is 3-year-old Brian. He's been living with the group for a few months and has only recently plucked up enough courage to go outside.
Can we have a look round? What do you reckon? There's Andy. You know Sal?
Foster mum, Sally, keeps a close eye on all the youngsters. She's a wonderful mother, and Brian follows her everywhere, but their closeness hasn't gone unnoticed. Lovable hooligan Sheamus is jealous. After all, Sally's his adoptive mum too. And when Brian strays too far from Sally, Sheamus is waiting for him. Sally has always spoilt Sheamus rotten. It's one of the reasons he's so naughty. But even she is getting tired of him right now. Little Brian needs her more than Sheamus does. Brian is clearly wary of Sheamus, but he's also smart and has worked out a way to avoid conflict with him. He knows if he stays near Sally, Sheamus will leave him alone. Sally loves little boys, and once again, she's faultless in her mothering role with Brian. She's happy to give him all the support he needs to settle into his new home. Still to come, the team has to make an important decision about Charlie's future.
Charlie's always been a loner. I don't think he sees any point in chimpanzees whatsoever.
And it's all too much for the new baby woolly monkey. Back with Allison and the woolly baby, it's time for the unglamorous side of motherhood.
Hey, hey. We've had a huge pee. That's excellent news. Excellent news. I just need to see him sort of defecate and know that his guts are moving. I can see that he's starting to consider it. There's a little bit. A lot of the time with baby animals, you can actually encourage their bowels with a warm, damp cloth if you just touch it to their sort of backside, which is sort of a similar thing that his mother would be doing. She'd be lifting up his tail, checking out his backside, and cleaning him up a bit, which just encourages the gut action. And we got a little bit there, so that's a start, little man. There you go. Oh, it looks, and I think it's time for a break now. I think we're a bit tired. Oh, it's a tough day, yeah.
This baby Woolly's brother, Julio, was only the second woolly monkey in the world to survive being hand-reared. Allison's hopeful this little one will be the third.
Yeah, I think I am feeling quite comfortable and perhaps confident with this little one, because you know what to expect this time, and I know that he's not like a little China doll, and that he is quite robust, and that actually it's very good for me to move him around in a fairly rough way. I mean, it's funny, people sort of come in and see him for the first time, and when they touch him, they touch him like he was porcelain, or like he might break and stuff, and really he's quite roughy-tufty, and keep in mind that he should be sort of clinging to his mum and holding on as she's flying around the enclosure. So, I mean, this tail is quite strong and can hold his weight. And right now he's gripping on strong with his hands. He can support himself. And really we want him to be doing a lot of that, because that is what will help encourage his appetite and also encourage his guts to move and get the feces moving through. Yeah, so it's all action stations.
Just like a human newborn baby, woolly monkey young need constant care and attention, and Allison's going to be providing it for the next 7 months before this little one will be ready to join his woolly monkey family.
Yeah, pretty much the first week or so, drinking, sleeping, and pooping, and that's about it. And really, you don't want anything more exciting than that. That's good for me right now.
Later, the stump-tailed macaque enclosure gets a makeover, but will it distract them long enough for Jonathan's hair to grow back? Over in the Bachelor Pad, there's concern for chimp Charlie. Recently, he's been struggling. The boys don't always share food with him, and their play can be too rough. To make matters worse, Charlie doesn't have a best friend within the group. So the team have come to a decision. He's to be separated off from the rest of the group for a short time every day, and animal manager Jeremy is going in to cheer him up.
Two things, really. I want to keep a very close eye on him so that nothing slips us by, or is less likely to slip us by. And two, I need cheering up, and I want to go and play with Charlie. I mean, I'm not going to try and make something out of this that it isn't. It's my bit of time for me and Charlie. We're just going to go and hang out.
Jeremy's aim is to give Charlie a little extra food and attention every day. The other chimps are kept occupied with treats, so they don't notice his absence. If they did, they might pick on him when he returns. Jeremy has known Charlie for 19 years, and they share a close bond.
Hello, my man. Hang on a minute. Hold my hand. Good boy. Yes, it's good to see you too. Come on. Good boy. Come on.
But as happy as Charlie is to see Jeremy, he's clearly more excited by the goodies his old friend has brought him.
What? Look, the bag. What we got today? Hey, what we got today? This is the tricky bit. Albert Einstein, eat your heart out. Every day, he will be separated at this time, and get a treat of some description so that the routine this time of the day will be carved in stone, that every day something nice will happen and he will be separated, and then the primate care staff can have a look at him and, you know, check him over and make sure he's okay. He does wonder why he can't just have all this food on a plate and just eat it. Well, we've got to go through this stupid ritual. As you can see, I might as well not be here at the moment because we've got treasure. What we got today? Look, there's something in here. But you're not, it's so silly. Look, there's stuff wrapped up in. What's that? What's in there?
Charlie's life revolves around food. But he arrived at the park with only 5 teeth, so eating has always been a challenge for him. Last year, he had to have another removed, but somehow, Charlie always gets by.
We've tried him on lots of things to try and get the emphasis off of food, but Charlie just doesn't care. If he's not got food, he's just not interested. Look at this toy. Yeah, OK. That's a piece of string. It's not a toy, you know. Whereas if he's got food and... So, what the heck? He's special. Is that good? Hey? Is it good? What you got in there? Let's have a look. Let me see what you've got. You've eaten it all. It's all gone. What's that all about? What's in that one? There's another one there. See? We don't get to share it very much, do we? That was mine. But I do nick some.
There are 11 stump-tailed macaques at the park, living in 2 groups. They're affectionately nicknamed the Ugly Monkeys. Today, the boys' inside enclosure is having a makeover. It's being kitted out with large logs. The keepers want to distract the uglies from some behaviour which has been making them look even more ugly. Over-grooming.
A couple of years ago, Jonathan was looking really, really bald. Now, that time we put it down to over-grooming because obviously these are ex-lab animals, so they've never had intimate contact or even any contact with each other apart from vocalisation, so they never learnt how to groom.
Grooming plays an important part in all primate societies. Low-ranking members want to be accepted by the high rankers and offer themselves to be groomed by everyone. But the Stumpies have been taking their grooming a little too far. The team have noticed that if the weather's too hot or cold, they stay inside and groom. And groom. And groom. And that's why Jonathan's going bald. Over-grooming isn't harmful, but the park does try to distract the group from doing it. Hopefully the logs will do the trick.
The reason we prefer the real trees as opposed to nice round poles is it gives them multiple levels to climb over. Instead of a nice smooth texture, they have to actually grip onto it, and this will build up their muscle tone, as well as giving them that bit more of entertainment.
Sam is first to investigate. But the rest of the uglies have got something more important in mind: breakfast. In the wild, Stumpies can venture up to 3 kilometres a day foraging for food, but these 8 prefer a slower pace of life. Primates, like most animals, love to eat, and new stuff in the enclosure can only mean one thing: food. These guys are on a diet, so it's important they're kept active. And these large branches are a perfect way to do this, as they're encouraging them to climb, which will improve their flexibility and muscle tone. The logs are bringing out the Stumpies' natural foraging behaviour. And, as an added bonus, it's saving the hair on Jonathan's back. Back with Charlie and animal manager Jeremy, it's playtime.
Charlie,
But the remnants of honey stuck on Charlie's nose are far too distracting.
Charlie, pick your nose. Hey, you gonna do that all day?
Charlie definitely enjoys a slow pace of life, but Jeremy wants him to have some fun.
Wait, stop it. Come here. Wait, come here.
Charlie's always been a loner. I don't think he sees any point in chimpanzees whatsoever, to be honest with you. I mean, he's okay with them, and he'll hang out with them a bit, but he's not... You know, I don't think he's got much value for chimpanzees, to be honest with you. They're more of a nuisance to him than a value.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are we doing? I can't climb about like that.
The other bachelor chimps play too rough for Charlie.
I'm gonna jump on you in a minute.
Jeremy's much more gentle. He keeps Charlie happy and active.
You're not supposed to laugh when I'm beating you up. I'm gonna bite your ribs in a minute.
If Charlie continues to have problems in the group, the team would consider moving him.
We've got 1 or 2 contingency plans and basic, plans for the future. Maybe an old-timers group. There's lots of options that we talk about. No, nothing specific, but it'd be nice to have a group for the old codgers. That'd be great fun. And I want to look after them. Grumpy old men together, Poor old lad, aren't you? Eh?
Next time. The path of true love never did run smooth, not even for golden-cheeked gibbons.
We're going to give them the best option that we can by offering her another male and by offering him a lady who won't be quite so nasty to him.
Naughty Sheamus is being nice to young Brian for a change, but how long will it last? And there comes a point in every young orangutan's life when it's time to move on.
Aris can be a little bit boisterous with the youngsters sometimes, and he's growing up a little bit now. He's getting a bit older, so maybe it's time to be with the older guys.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. There's a new baby in the woolly monkey house, but the team are worried for its safety.
If it starts going limp or lolling, I need to make a decision whether or not we take it.
Yep.
Baby Orangutan Dinda gets to grips with her outside enclosure, and stump-tailed macaque Coco struggles with hers. Monkey World Ape Rescue Centre is home to over 160 primates, most of which are subject to their non-breeding policy. But orangutans, golden-cheeked gibbons, and woolly monkeys are all highly endangered and are allowed to breed. Every new baby is crucial. It's morning at Monkey World, and in the woolly monkey house, there's a new arrival. Overnight, 12-year-old Kuna has given birth. Keeper Mike was the first to see mum and baby.
So how long since you've been looking at the baby?
It's 3/4 of an hour now.
Do you have any indication of when it was actually born?
I would think it was probably late last night rather than early this morning. The baby looks quite well dry and nice and
Fluffy,
clean.
yeah. Any suckling?
Not that we've seen yet.
Okay, and no indication on her nipples that the hair's
Can't
been...
even see anything there because she's got the baby in the correct position with the head right up on her chest.
Last year, Kuna gave birth to Julio, but when the keepers found them, all was not well. Monkey World caught on camera the moment the baby was being held by its dad.
Hands know whether she wants the baby or not, and in the end...
And despite everyone's best efforts, Kuna rejected her baby.
Hey, go in there, get in, hey! Grab the monkey, grab the monkey, grab the monkey. Down and down.
There was no other choice. Julio had to be hand-reared. This time around, the team are observing Kuna closely to check that she is holding the new baby correctly and that it is feeding. It's a tense time.
Oh, it's a nightmare, isn't it?
No, it's great.
No, yeah, but it's just this sort of worrying, is she going to feed it, is she not? And it's so difficult
It
to
is what
see.
it is. So I would propose that exactly 24 hours from now we reassess, assuming that she's still looking after it properly. We do need to keep a close eye that it doesn't start, if it starts going limp or lolling, we also need to make a decision then and whether or not we take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But later, the team is taking no chances.
At this point, you know, it's now late afternoon, and we need to decide whether the baby's coming away from Kuna.
Maybe she's never going to be a good mum.
And over in Hananya's group, leading ladies Cherry and Peggy better watch out. New girl Johnny is after their position at the top. On the other side of the park, animal manager Jeremy is taking an unusual route into the orangutan nursery.
Hang on.
9-month-old Dinda has been living full-time in the nursery for 2 weeks now. The primate care staff have brought her outside several times, but today, Jeremy is showing her how to get there on her own.
That's how you do it. You know, a couple of times of doing this, and then if she chooses to stay inside still after that, then that's her choice.
The orangutan creche helps orphaned orangs settle amongst their own kind. Dinda was born at the park, but rejected by her mum. She was hand-reared, but had contact with the orangs in the nursery from day one.
It all depends on how you hand-rear them as to how they develop. I mean, I know people have a problem with it, but children are what you make them. And if you let them get on with exploring and discovering things, then they're going to progress a lot quicker than a baby that's very cosseted.
Xiao Ning is now 4 years old. When she was a baby, there was no creche at the park, so she spent more time with Keeper Mike and the rest of the primate care staff.
Xiao Ning here, because we didn't have anywhere for her to go with other orangs like we've got now with Dinda, she was much slower in her development. It's not, I mean, she soon caught up, as you can see. But Dinda, we were lucky that we've created the nursery since then. So Dinda's been part of the whole orang social scene from a very early age. Therefore, it's going to become more natural to her.
The outside enclosure is designed to help the babies learn to climb. Dinda is confident enough around her housemates to explore on her own, but strictly at ground level. She's got a big challenge in front of her.
Oh, you climb on there. It's all right, you climb on there. That's good. It's all right, I'm still here. That's all right. God, what do you like, eh? I'm an orang with vertigo. It's terrible.
Orangutans are the largest tree-living mammal in the world, and they have a remarkable ability to swing through the treetops. As orangs spend the majority of their day living up high, Dinda best develop her head for heights.
You big wuss. If you were an orangutan, this net is a very attractive thing to climb on, so hopefully she'll get over this vertigo thing she's got. Goodness me, it's so attractive, that net. No, it isn't, she says.
But Jeremy's got one more trick up his sleeve. Show Dinda how it's done. This is bound to work, isn't it?
Right. If this doesn't work, I'm going to give in. Right, now just go and play. I'm not holding you. You're not holding me. Nah, I think little girl's getting tired now, so I think we'll call this soon. She's nodding off. So now I've got to make the decision, do I stay here and have a kip with her, or do I come down and do some work? Could somebody call the fire brigade for me, because I'm stuck? Help!
Back with the woolly monkeys, new mum Kuna is still holding on to her baby, which is good news, but no one has seen it feed yet. Kuna rejected her last baby, Julio. Thanks to Allison and Mike, he became only the second woolly monkey in the world to survive being hand-reared.
You feel happier now, do you? I can hear you stuffing in the air.
The team haven't decided whether or not they should take this baby away to be hand-reared, but they want to be prepared.
So we're getting ready for all eventualities. Everything that I used and Mike used with Julio, we've boxed up and we've got here. So now we just need to make best plan, because I think at this point, you know, it's now late afternoon and we need to decide whether the baby's coming away from Kuna. What do you think?
Oh, God.
That says it all.
I think, knowing her past record with the other one, I think we ought to probably err and be a bit cautious and take it away. Maybe she's never going to be a good mum. You know, some primates just will never entertain the idea of having a baby and holding it even. It's just this crucial thing of trying to find the baby to suckle. And the nipples are so far under the armpit, it's covered in hair. It's like even a mother that rears a baby, you don't hardly ever see it suckling. There's so many things to... So rather than have another disaster, you know, hopefully if we take it, you know, as Allison did with little Julio, you know, we can make this one survive. And Julio's gone back in that group. I mean, he's a total little sweetheart.
Kuna's doing much better than she did with Julio, and the park really want her to bring up the baby. But if it's not feeding, the team can't take any chances. They're going to have to make their decision soon.
It's a huge lottery, isn't it? It's not, we were just talking going up the road. This is just such an awful thing to have to decide.
Coming up, decision time. Will the team take drastic measures with the new woolly monkey baby?
If this was a first-time baby, you'd think maybe give it the benefit of the doubt. With the past history of the animal, I'd do it. I'd go for it now and take the baby.
And Johnny shows just how ambitious a chimp can be when she starts making a play for top man, Hananya.
So he obviously thinks that she's going to be somebody significant, and I'm sure she agrees.
At Monkey World in Dorset, the park's 11 woolly monkeys are part of the European Endangered Species breeding programme. In the early hours of the morning, 12-year-old Kuna gave birth to her second baby. The team have been watching them closely. But the infant hasn't suckled and Mum isn't holding the baby properly. If the baby doesn't feed, it'll become weak and dehydrated, and this could prove fatal.
It's now the end of the first day, and baby hasn't suckled yet, that's for sure. So that's not good. But more concerning to us right now, actually, is the fact that whenever Kuna moves around, the baby's legs and tail are hanging. So she's supporting it behind the back of the neck and at maybe the top of the back. But the rest, you know, the baby's holding on with its hands, but it's not holding tight with its legs and tail, which it should be. It really doesn't look too good. I mean, it just really is the most terrible thing in the world. I really don't want to take it from her because she's trying. But the baby's not thriving. There is no obvious answer for this. We need to make a team decision on this, and everybody really does need to have a bit of an opinion. I don't like watching her fly around with it. It looks downright almost dangerous for the baby when she's moving quickly.
The rest of the primate care staff come to observe Kuna and her infant before making the final decision.
The legs and the tail still aren't tight. It doesn't appear to be improving per se. We can leave it until tomorrow morning, but
if this was a first-time baby, you'd think maybe give it the benefit of the doubt. With the past history of the animal, I'd do it. I'd go for it now and take the baby.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Ooh, that's really hanging. Okay, that last image did it for me, I think, unless anybody has any other opinion. So. The baby's hanging limp from its back end. Yeah? You guys happy with that? Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Certainly.
let's do the deed.
Kuna is going to have to be sedated. Animal manager Jeremy uses a blowpipe to administer the anaesthetic. The newborn has been taken away, and it's another boy for Kuna. The priority now is to keep it warm and hydrated. It's not fed for up to 20 hours. Later, it's touch and go. Can the team get fluids into the baby woolly monkey in time?
Very slow. The nutrition is not the issue, it's the dehydration that when you're this size that's the big worry.
And female stump-tailed macaque Coco also clings on for dear life. Over in Hananya's chimp group, newcomer Johnny is busy proving that behind every good man, there's an even better woman. Johnny came to the troop from the chimp nursery only 4 months ago, but she was quick to grasp the complex hierarchy of the group. She settled in quickly, but she has a higher aim in mind than simply being popular with her peers. It seems likely that one day, Johnny will be one of the dominant ladies in the group.
I do think Johnny's going to be a very high-ranking female. Hananya seems to be very keen on Johnny. He spends a lot of time grooming her. So he obviously thinks that she's going to be somebody significant, and I'm sure she agrees.
For now, the position is already taken. Cherry and Peggy are the dominant females. This is made clear from the amount of attention they receive from the rest of the group. Grooming isn't just a way of relaxing and bonding, it's also how the chimpanzees establish their hierarchy. The more important you are, the more pampering you receive, and Cherry and Peggy get more than their fair share. Establishing the dominant females in the group is vital, because they are, after all, the powers behind the throne. 3 years ago, when the transfer of power in the troop shifted from Rodney to Hananya, the high-ranking females gave Hananya their seal of approval by grooming him from head to toe. Without the support of the ladies, none of the boys become the alpha male of the group. So being a high-ranking female is an important and much sought-after job. It's extremely unusual for a chimp to enter a group from the nursery and have the effect that Johnny's having on Hananya's group. At 8 years old, she has become a big female, confident with both dominant males and females in the group. And she's very much the boys' centre of attention at the moment. But Johnny's no fool. She's made the right friends, but she's focused on a much bigger prize, the boss man himself, Hananya. It certainly looks like Johnny's going places. Over in the stump-tailed macaque house, new girl Coco heads outdoors every day. She's very cautious, but she seems to be getting fitter.
Now, her movement's improved a lot since she got here. She still struggles with round objects, especially on moist days like today, where she will slip off poles and things. She has improved. If she loses her balance slightly, she can normally regain it as long as the poles aren't actually slippy.
When Coco arrived at the park, she was overweight and unfit. The park put her on a diet and began to work at making her more active and healthy.
Now, she actually lost a third of her weight in the first 6 months she was here, and she's still losing weight.
She is 11 kilos.
The park encourages the primates to live together as naturally as possible. Now Coco is healthier, the staff have stopped going in to weigh her or handle her. Coco now lives with the geriatric boys, Roland and Gerald. Their enclosure is designed differently to the boys next door because of their mobility problems, and even these designs present challenges. Coco shakes off the fall and stays determined. After 2 slips, Coco works out a better way to get where she wants to go.
Oh, she's very stubborn. She slipped down the first pole, so she then chose another path round. So she's got the intelligence to do that and the mobility to do that now. She's doing incredibly well today. She's right round at a point that we haven't had her before. If she wants to do something, she'll do it. If there's anything in her way, she'll generally push it out the way unless she can't. And then she'll keep going until she gets bored, and then she'll find an alternative route.
Coco's rehabilitation is going very well, and life for her has certainly improved. It's the end of the day, and over in the office, Kuna's new baby boy has been safely removed. Kuna wasn't holding him properly, and he wasn't feeding, so the team had to take action.
Yep, he's already sort of making little suckling moves, so we'll need to get some fluid into him and weigh him. 410, 410, 410 grams.
The team didn't see the baby suckle throughout the day. Allison's worried that he's dehydrated.
If I pinch his skin on his arm, it stays peaked. You see that peak right there? That's an indicator. If you normally pinch your skin, if you're not dehydrated, it springs right back. The fact that it holds a peak at all means that he's dehydrated. So first order of business is just getting a bit of fluid into him, and something that isn't going to necessarily cause diarrhea. Now, the first time that he takes the milk, it might actually cause him a little bit of diarrhea because his stomach and his gut isn't used to it. Very slow. And so you just want to get the fluid into him before you start. The nutrition is not the issue, it's the dehydration that when you're this size that's the big worry.
18 months ago, Allison hand-reared the newborn's brother, Julio, and discovered baby woolly monkeys thrive on constant contact. She needs to do the same for the latest arrival.
Such a good boy. I know.
And as soon as I move away, even just from this distance, he wants to be right here looking at me and tucked up. And I believe that's why these don't thrive in an incubator. If you were to take him and set him down, all of that interest in moving around would just disappear and he would end up just laying in the incubator. So once again, we'll go through the deal of carrying him around just like his mum would.
Woolly monkey babies are extremely fragile and are notoriously difficult to hand-rear. So Allison has her work cut out if this little one is going to make it and become only the third to survive this treatment in the world. Next time, the new woolly monkey baby is 24 hours old, but his survival hangs in the balance.
It's still way too early to say whether or not, this little guy is gonna make it or not.
In the chimp nursery, young Brian gets hassle from bully boy Sheamus. And the team are concerned that chimp Charlie is being picked on. They need to decide if he can stay living with the Bachelor group.
Charlie's always been a loner. I don't think he sees any point in chimpanzees whatsoever.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, animal manager Jeremy is under attack.
Not the aerial assault, no!
He's in Paris collecting Linger, an orphaned orangutan who needs to be with her own kind.
You have got too much energy and you're too ugly and we don't want you. We've changed our minds, you're not coming home with us.
In Paddy's chimp group, all hell breaks loose over a big fruity freeze. And Allison says her goodbyes to Julio, the woolly monkey she hand-reared from birth.
I'll see you later. You be good. You be good.
Over the past 21 years, Monkey World has rescued and rehabilitated 185 primates. 10 of these have been orangutans. Today, animal manager Jeremy is in Paris to meet number 11. Baby female orangutan Linger at the Menagerie du Jardin des Plantes. Linger was rejected by her mum at birth and raised by the keepers. They were unable to integrate her with the zoo's older orangs, and now everybody hopes she'll find a home in Monkey World's orangutan creche. Jeremy's first job of the day is to introduce himself to Linger.
On the premise that the best way to an animal's heart is through his stomach, like a man, this is going to be the way of getting to know Linger, and Linger getting to know me if I feed her, which is all good. Hello, Rabbeg. I got you a tea here. Goodness me, what do you fancy? Eh? Is that good? Is that what you wanted? But reading between the lines a little bit, she's obviously a professional eater. But we can use that to our advantage. What? What are you doing? What are you like? You're not exactly shy, are you? Are you good? You're a very pretty little girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. Now, it's good to see that she is obviously quite precocious, quite forward, not shy, not intimidated. It's just nice that she's been brought up that way. And also she can see the other orangs next door to her. So clearly she knows what an orang is, and she probably knows she is one.
All primates have different personalities, and getting to know them can be a challenge. 2 years ago, Monkey World head keeper Lee collected baby Aris from Germany. Aris was brought up with gorillas, and Lee found a confident and outgoing orang waiting for him. Last year, keeper Mike brought Jolie back from Moscow Zoo, but she was very shy, and it took him several days to gain her trust.
You packed your bags yet?
Later, we see how Linger reacts when Jeremy takes the next step and goes into her enclosure. And at Monkey World, Allison gives last goodbyes to the woolly monkey she hand-reared from birth. Monkey World Ape Rescue Centre is home to 59 chimps, the largest natural living collection outside Africa. All the chimpanzees have been successfully grouped into troops. The largest is Paddy's family of 19. Chimps are intelligent and inquisitive. The park staff work hard to keep them occupied, and today they're providing an unusual challenge, a giant ice lolly. And here's Paddy, the head of the troop and the first on the scene. The giant lolly is the perfect way to cool down on a hot summer's day. By providing them with just one treat, the keepers hope the troop will work together as a team. This should keep them occupied for hours. But 27-year-old Clin has other ideas. She wants the ice to herself, but the troop isn't going to let her get away with that. The ice is filled with different fruits, and smart Cindy has found a stick to dislodge the tasty bits. In the wild, chimps use a variety of tools to help them extract food, including twigs and straw blades to help search for termites and stones to crack open nuts. Back at the park, Clin's not happy at having to share. And chimps being chimps, it's not long before a scuffle breaks out. And there goes Clin with the ice again. Clin had a traumatic start in life. She was a laboratory chimp, which meant restricted meals. Now she hoards her food. The group are happy to let her do this at mealtimes, but with just one treat on offer, no chance. And later, Clin's not the only one having trouble sharing. Little Eddie really wants this fruit lolly, but will she be able to keep it to herself? The chimpanzees are one of 15 different species living at the park. These include lemurs, gibbons, capuchins, and woolly monkeys. Julio is the youngest of the woolly monkeys. Park director Allison is very close to him.
He's just a superstar. He loves playing with, pushing out of the way, grabbing food from whether it's the dominant male, any of the dominant females. He still likes seeing the old girl Susie. And he's just a playful, lovely little lad that they all love.
Julio's mum, Kuna, rejected him at birth. For his own safety, he had to be taken away.
Get in there, get in. Hey! Is the baby okay, Allison?
I believe so. We've got toes, fingers. I don't see any blood.
Allison took on the mighty challenge of bringing him up. He's only the second woolly monkey in the world to survive being hand-reared.
Good girl.
As he grew up, he began to interact with other woolly monkeys. And now, Julio is 18 months old and looking good.
For me, I'm just really pleased, but this is probably going to be one of the very last times that I'm able to sort of come in and see Julio and give him a little bit of a hug and a check as much as I am right now, because he's growing up, and this was our goal in the first instance, was to get him back into the family group of woolly monkeys and fully functioning so that he can have his own family one day. And, you know, job well done, I guess, because he's quite a nice little lad, even though you do suck your thumb still. I know.
But as Julio enters adolescence, he's changing.
His head's gonna change a lot. So over his eyebrow ridge, like LeVar, the dominant male, he'll get much broader on the head. His shoulders will fill out. The base of his tail will become much thickened. Also, of course, the huge canines that just make what is a very excitable, high-strung, temperamental species downright dangerous as they become fully matured and fully armed.
The woolly monkeys are part of a global endangered species breeding program, and every new baby is important. So the whole team are excited that Julio's mum, Kuna, is pregnant again, but they're also worried. She might reject the new baby just as she did Julio.
What we want is for the baby to grow up with its mother, with Kuna. So we're hoping that she's grown up a bit more and that she'll do a better job than she did with Julio the first time around. So hopeful, but wary.
Back in Paris, baby orangutan Linger is meeting animal manager Jeremy, and he's gone into her enclosure.
She's better when I'm sat on the floor.
Jeremy sits down in an attempt to make Linger feel more comfortable.
You coming over here? Hello.
But the food is much more attractive than Jeremy.
Okay. Of course, she's got to learn a whole new routine of living with other animals. She's got to learn to share, but The way she knocks back her food in 2 minutes, not having any competition, would suggest that that won't be too hard. Orangs are not renowned for being overly active, but she's a very active young lady. Probably make her more of a nightmare to look after because she's always into things that she shouldn't be. But that's all okay.
So far, Jeremy and Linger have got along well, but he's kept his distance. Gaining an orang's trust comes in stages. Will she let him make physical contact?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you bad? You a bad girl? You a bad influence? I suspect so. I suspect you'd be a real bad influence on our people. I don't know why we should inflict you on them. If you don't get pushy, you know, she's now offering herself for a tickle here, so I'm taking up the offer and it's all good. You know, whereas if you wade in gung-ho to start with, it'll only go badly. Whereas if she's just come and been quite comfortable in my presence, now she thinks that's fun. And I know some of these places which makes orangs fall apart when you touch them. There's one. Particularly around there. Particularly around there.
Coming up, Jeremy gets more than he bargained for.
You don't know any other games, do you? All you know is fighting silly games.
The orangutans get some exercise climbing for melons, and Eddie becomes the most popular chimp in Paddy's group, at least while her ice lolly lasts. In Paris, Monkey World animal manager Jeremy is getting to know baby orangutan Linger. She's being transferred to Monkey World's orangutan creche, and she's much livelier than Jeremy expected.
Not the aerial assault, no, no. That is not fair. It's just not fair.
Linger is very taken with Jeremy and loves their play session.
Change my mind, you're not coming home with me anymore.
And she can give as good as she gets.
I'm getting bored with this game. You don't know any other games, do you? All you know is fighting silly games. You have got too much energy and you're too ugly and we don't want you. We've changed our mind, you're not coming home with us. He's the roughy, tufty, horrible, smelly, rotten monkey. Changed my mind, she's too rough, we're gonna leave her. She's too horrible. See you later, when I've cancelled your ticket. Yes. You got him?
Jeremy's happy. They're going to transfer Linger to Monkey World in the morning.
Yeah, just spent half, three-quarters of an hour with Linger and had the living daylights knocked out of me. But it's really good that she's not focused like an animal that's been hand-reared by, say, one person with no proximity to others of their species, because she's, you know, she's very outgoing, she's very forward, and a hand-reared animal will really focus on one person and get sort of imprinted, and she's not like that at all. They've really brought her up well with many people being involved, so she doesn't get too fixed on one person. So I'm really happy, and I'm sure it'll be a lot nicer for her, the whole move, you know, for a new life at Monkey World. 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll start the journey home. I want to make a good early start tomorrow, much to the horror of the local people who are going to help me put her in the van. But then, you know, the earlier we can leave here, then the earlier we'll get back to Monkey World and more of the day she has to settle in.
Linger's keepers will join her on the trip. This will make her feel more secure, and they can see that she settles well. They've looked after her for 2 years, but they know it's the best thing for her.
Linger a été élevée à la main par nos soins, et c'est devenu une petite guenon tout à fait indépendante, très joueuse, très active, prête à intégrer un nouveau groupe le plus tôt possible. Donc on est tous évidemment très tristes de la voir partir, mais très optimistes quant à son futur avenir au Monkey World avec ses petits congénères.
Later, how will Linger cope with the early start as she begins her journey to Monkey World?
Twist her arm, you know, okay, I'll have an early breakfast. As long as I don't have to get out of bed.
And can little Eddie still get whatever she wants from her dad, Paddy? Eventually, Linger will join the park's 13 orangutans that are split into 3 groups. One of these is headed by male Tuan. He's lucky enough to have 4 girls in his group. Today they're having a treat, sweet-tasting melons. Amy loves her food. And she'll stop at nothing to get it. Xiaolan ranks below her in the pecking order and is smart enough to give up her prize. In captivity, female orangutans develop a hierarchy relating to age and size. Amy takes full advantage of her top position. In the wild, orangs forage for leaves and fruit in the forest canopy, so the keepers have placed the melons high up to encourage them to replicate their natural feeding behaviour. "21-year-old Tuan wants some melon. Unfortunately for Roro, he wants her melon. But she's not handing it over without a fight. Orangutans naturally move slowly, but for them, this is a full-on punch-up. Roro's only half Tuan's size, so there's only ever going to be one winner. In the wild, orangutans spend much of their day feeding, and fruit makes up about 60% of their diet. After making her way through nearly 2 whole watermelons, even Amy's full. So Roro finally gets a melon to herself. But she's going to have to be quick. Tuan's back again. Poor Roro knows she's no match for him, and she backs off. Again. On the other side of the park, Paddy's troop are enjoying their giant ice lolly. But like the orangs, the chimps aren't always good at sharing. Youngster Eddie hasn't had any of the lolly. And prankster Gamba decides Eddie's just one mouth too many. Drastic measures are called for, and after eyeing up her options, it's Dad Paddy she targets. She may well be the boss's daughter, but she can't always get her own way. As a baby, it was a different story. She could have whatever she liked from her dad and stopped at nothing to get it. Today, Eddie's struggling to get her hands on any of the treat, but she's not about to give up. And finally, her persistence pays off. But she's about to get a taste of her own medicine. Suddenly, she's the most popular chimp in the park. It's 4 o'clock in the morning in Paris, and Jeremy is getting Linger ready for her journey to Britain.
Right. There we go, a bit warmer. Having an early breakfast, so she doesn't seem to object to too much. Twist her arm, you know, okay, I'll have an early breakfast.
long as I don't have to get out of bed. Of course, the sooner we set off, the sooner we get home, the sooner we can settle her in back at Monkey World. It's quite a long day we've got in front of us.
Jeremy arrived in Paris less than 24 hours ago, but he and Linger formed an instant bond.
Very pretty little girl, aren't you? Yes, you are.
After an early breakfast, it's time for the team to get moving.
Right, we'll go now, yeah? The sooner we go, the better, and then she can start settling down.
And her keepers are travelling with her to make her trip as comfortable as possible. Britain is 10 hours away, but when she finally arrives in Monkey World, Linger will be in safe hands. Monkey World is the European creche for orphaned orangutan babies. It's currently home to 4 toddlers cared for by foster mum Arme. Everybody hopes that Linger's outgoing nature will help her settle in around the likes of Aris and the gang. Next time, little Linger's confidence deserts her as she takes her first steps on British soil.
Come on then, let's go. Come on, Linda. Good girl.
An operation on chimp Brian's teeth reveals the damage caused from his traumatic past life.
That looks like dead old tooth to me. It's the wrong colour, which indicates it's probably dead. It's moving, which it shouldn't do. It has to go. So I may as well get on with it while the X-ray is being developed.
And stump-tailed macaque Coco gets a helping hand.
It's quite simple, really. You know, why walk when you can have a ride?
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. Nerves are running high in the chimp nursery as newcomer Brian is introduced to volatile Sheamus.
Sheamus, behave yourself.
It's either going to go amazingly well, or I imagine it'll end in tears.
Dinda, the hand-reared baby orangutan, faces a big challenge. She's spending her first night in the orang nursery. And orangutan Amy has a smashing time. Monkey World Rescue Centre was set up 20 years ago by the late Jim Cronin. It's a thriving 65-acre sanctuary in Dorset, giving refuge to abused and neglected primates. Caring for their 160 animals is park director Allison Cronin, animal manager Jeremy, and a team of dedicated primate care staff.
This park exists for the individual monkeys and apes that need rescuing and what their needs are. And we sort of look at the different groups of monkeys and apes as families, and these are their homes. So as they grow up, we'll grow up with them and evolve.
Since Monkey World began, 185 apes and monkeys have been rescued, giving them a second chance of life with their own kind. New arrival, Brian, has been living in the chimp nursery with dominant female Sally and youngsters Ben and Pip. But today he's about to face a big challenge. Brian's going to meet the nursery's naughtiest resident, Sheamus.
He's the one sort of we've been wondering about because he's so boisterous, such a little hooligan, and Brian has those same tendencies, so it's either going to go amazingly well or I imagine it'll end in tears pretty quickly if they both get overexcited.
Chimpanzees are extremely sociable and alliances are very important to them. Brian has built up a strong relationship with Sally.
So we made sure that Brian stayed at least 24 hours with Sally, all on her own, so that they now have a bond.
Sally is the park's resident foster mum. She helped to raise 29 chimps, including Sheamus. And the pair are extremely close. So nobody's quite sure if there'll be friction when Brian arrives.
Of course, Sally and Sheamus's bond is stronger, and therefore she might choose Sheamus's side if Brian and Sheamus have a dispute. I think she might actually stick with Brian, though, because I think she's a bit fed up with Sheamus and his boisterous activities.
Animal manager Jeremy is on hand for when Sheamus arrives to make sure things run as smoothly as possible. And it's a good job he is. When Sheamus makes his entrance, he's his typical rowdy self.
Hey! Sheamus, behave. Sheamus, behave yourself.
There's an air of excitement in the nursery. This meeting could still go very badly.
Sheamus, behave.
Sally's the boss in here, but Jeremy's on hand to calm things down if needed. He can't stop the chimp's unruly behaviour, but he can step in and take Sheamus outside if he has to.
Stop it.
Later on, Jeremy needs Sally's help to keep Sheamus under control.
Keep on top of this, Sally. Don't let it out your sight.
And over in the orangutan's nursery, Mum Xiao Kuai also has her hands full with the confident young Kai. Monkey World is home to 13 orangutans. The youngest is 9-month-old Dinda. And today, Keeper Mike is moving her development on a stage.
It's your last trip, isn't it? You're going to be a big girl now. You're going to be with all the big boys and girls. No baby, no more.
Mum Roro failed to feed Dinda, so she's been hand-reared by Mike. But she can't stay with humans forever. Mike's hopeful she's ready to move into the orangutan nursery full-time.
You're free. This is your last nappy. So you can go in here. Little gate. Here we go. Yep. She's been coming down here now for quite a few days. And you see, she doesn't cry now. She's fantastic. She got so used to being moved to different, cages and going different places with different keepers. Put her in there. First couple of days we started bringing her down. She would start to give a little cry. We used to just go outside and sit outside and wait, and with about 3-4 minutes she'd shut up. And as soon as she'd hear you, she'd start crying again. And then it just went quiet after a week or so.
Dinda has been spending her days in the orangutan nursery and going home with Mike. But that's all about to change.
Tonight's her first big night, because she thinks she's going home at 3 o'clock, which is going to be a big shock to her. She will go in here, have her tea, and then she's going to sleep with, at the moment, I think it's going to be Ame and Jolie. And then I'm going to sleep on the floor here with her tonight, and maybe tomorrow, just to make sure nothing untoward happens. And then she can live in the nursery full time. Touch wood, fingers crossed, it should be plain sailing.
Unlike Dinda, 2-year-old Kai has been reared by his mum since birth. He is growing up fast, and over the last year, he's been developing his climbing and swinging skills. Orangutan's feet work like an extra pair of hands. In the wild, this helps them move through the treetops. Kai is slowly getting to grips with the outdoor enclosure. He's bold enough to explore by himself. But being the perfect mum, Xiao Kuai is there to offer a helping hand when he just can't make it on his own. In the wild, young orangutans usually stay with their mothers until they're around 7 years old. They will learn everything from them, including what to eat and how to build nests. Kai's confident and independent. He likes to show off his climbing skills as he explores. Mature, self-sufficient, making his own way in the big, wide world. with Mum a couple of paces behind, just in case. It's a risky business being a baby orangutan, and Xiao Kuai isn't going to take any chances. So, whether it's high up on the tower or lower down on the poles, she follows him on all his adventures. And, in the end, it's pretty clear that even the most intrepid adventurer appreciates having a mum around when they're a bit tired. Back in the chimp nursery, new arrival Brian is meeting lovable hooligan Sheamus, and animal manager Jeremy is on hand as referee.
Just some brain checkers. Don't get bouncy. Fat lump.
The meeting could still go either way. Sheamus is still exerting that never-ending energy of his, and Jeremy is still trying to keep the peace. Sheamus might be a handful, but Sally's right there to help Jeremy out.
Sort us out. Good girl, Sal. Good girl, Sal.
She's spending her time playing with Sheamus, but there's a reason for this. Sally's keeping him away from Brian.
Good girl, Sal. Sort him out. Sort him out. Where's that little boy gone? He's there. It's good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Shay. Good boy. Good boy. Let him calm down. It's all a bit much for this little lad. He's doing really well. Sheamus is Tigger. He's big and bouncy with little brain, and so he's all over. You know, he's a bit too big and strong, but then Sally's stepping in and policing everything to keep him under control. It's all a bit much for poor little Brian, isn't it? It's all a lot to take in for a little boy, isn't it? Yeah. It's all very much to take in for a little chap on his early days.
And it's not surprising that Brian's having a hard time settling. Before coming to Monkey World, Brian had a tragic start in life. He was stolen from the wild in West Africa and was smuggled to Mexico, where he was being trained as a beach photographer's prop. But he had a lucky escape. He was confiscated by the Mexican authorities and handed over to Jim and Allison. This is Brian's first week living at Monkey World.
You know, he's only a little lad. He's only a very young boy, and he's had, you know, quite a horrendous, well, incredibly horrendous week. He's moved home. He's flown halfway around the world. He's met a whole new load of people. I mean, he was, you know, everybody in his life now he's never seen before, so he's got to make friends. He's got to, you know, everything's... I'm going to keep on. I don't care. I'm going to keep on with this interview because I'm just so professional. Everything is just totally new to him. So, I mean, he's only a little lad. Of course he's going to be a bit shell-shocked, and every now and again he goes into this sort of shut-off mode, and then he sort of gets his brain together, and then he's back on form again.
Brian is a sociable chimp, which is helping his integration. But with a rogue like Sheamus to contend with, Brian definitely needs to look out for himself.
Hey, Sheamus, come here. Sit down. Sit down with me and be calm. Yeah, come on, sit down, calm. Calm. Sit down. Oh, no, sorry, I'm trying to keep him calm. I just said how good you are at this. Right, sit here and behave.
The nursery can be a chaotic place, and Jeremy certainly has his hands full.
And calm, and relax. Deep breath and relax. You're not listening, are you?
In Monkey World's chimp nursery, it's been 2 hours since new boy Brian was introduced to hooligan Sheamus. And finally, an air of calm has descended on the group.
Just relax. Sheamus, relax. Not the bum in the face. We don't do bums in faces, particularly your farty bottom. Everybody's made it clear to Sheamus that if he touches Brian, that he's in big trouble. And I think the tiny bit of brain cell that Sheamus has got has just dawned on him.
3-year-old Brian is understandably wary of Sheamus, but he's brave enough to join him in a play session.
Sheamus?
Sheamus is at last calming down, and the chimps seem to be getting along.
Very nicely, Sheamus. Good boy.
This is the breakthrough that Jeremy has been waiting for. Sheamus starts to groom Brian.
Of course, all this grooming is a really, really important thing to these chaps. It's how they speak. And it's quite simple. You know, if you are grooming somebody, you come in peace. You're not being aggressive. You're not being, you know, you only want peace, peaceful communication rather than aggressive. And it really is that simple. Now, clearly, it is an instinctive thing because young Brian here won't have learnt much, in so much as he's had very little chimpanzee socialising in his life. Of course, with Sally here, he's got a really good teacher, you know, because she's so patient with him. She's so, you know, she doesn't lose it with him. She doesn't get angry with him. She's very consistent with him. I really don't think this could have gone any better today. You know, it really is. It's all good. I mean, look at him now. I mean, an hour ago he was very cautious of Sheamus, and you know he was okay, but he's cautious now. In the last few minutes, he's actually instigated contact with Sheamus and playing with Sheamus, and it's all coming together really nicely.
Back in the orangutan nursery, baby Dinda is moving in full time. And keeper Mike is moving in too.
This is just for one night.
As this is Dinda's first overnight with orangutans, Mike's sleeping alongside her. But these days, he's not into roughing it.
But sometimes I've had just a sort of blow-up mattress which goes on the floor. But I thought for the next 2 nights, I'm a little bit older than the last time I did this, I thought for the next 2 nights I'll have a little bit of luxury. Be the first night that she's actually spent with an orangutan rather than a human being for company. So it's a very big night for her. I will be here on the bed here in case anything goes wrong, but I don't think anything will. I think it's going to be a straightforward night. She may wake up during the night and just wonder where she is. Any problems, I'm here, and Jeremy's at the other end of the radio as well. So it's a very important step for her tonight. This is another move on. And it also means, hopefully, that the keepers and myself won't have to sort of sit with her at night time. She's got a nice big cage here and bedrooms that she can climb around in, so she's going to be moving around a lot more. She's going to develop, she's going to work up her appetite more. She's going to grow quicker as well and interact with what she should be interacting with, and that's orangutans. It's a great relief, though, when they do sort of leave home, as it were, and end up being part of the orangutan colony here at Monkey World. And I'll be redundant. That'll be fantastic.
But Dinda's not going to be the youngest orang in Monkey World for long. Soon there's news of another baby in need of a new home. Monkey World is committed to keeping all their animals busy and occupied. And that's just what animal manager Jeremy is doing for the orangutans. In the wild, most of an orangutan's food grows in the treetops, and they have little reason to come to the ground. So Jeremy's hanging up giant fruit ice lollies to refresh them on this hot day. Just like us, an orang's primary sense is sight. And both Roro and Lucky have spotted their prizes. But Lucky's not having much luck. Others want to steal her prize. Leading the way is Amy. She's higher up the group pecking order, so Lucky knows it's best just to let her steal the ice. Amy doesn't share. She is stubborn and not to be messed with. In captivity, orangutans, like most primates, have a hierarchy. At the bottom is Xiao Lan. This means she's going to have to patiently wait her turn. Amy loves her food, and not even 21-year-old male Twan is going to come between her and her giant ice lolly. Twan may be bigger and stronger than Amy, but he's smart enough just to sit and watch and wait. Amy is particularly clever, and she's worked out a way of getting to enjoy the ice quicker. But the platform isn't strong enough to crack the prize. When she gives up, Twan's patience has paid off. He's right there, ready to take over. But even his powerful jaw can't break through. Amy, though, hasn't given up at all. She's just found another ice lolly that looks easier to smash. And this time, she cracks it. Smashed to pieces, she can finally indulge. But the big male Twan has been keeping his eye on Amy, and now he's determined to get his share. Full speed ahead. It's obvious he's not going to give up, so Amy cleverly smashes her share and gives him some. She might be selfish, but she's not stupid. Half a lolly is better than no lolly at all. Amy and her troop live in one of 3 orangutan groups at the park. Next door to her is the unique Orang Creche. 3 youngsters from different backgrounds live here. They're looked after by a foster mum, 13-year-old May. 3 years ago, Monkey World became the European creche for orphaned orangutan babies needing a new home.
Any babies that are born within the captive population throughout Europe, if their mothers don't care for them properly and they can't be integrated back into a group of orangutans, they will be sent to Monkey World to join Ame and all of our guys over there.
And it looks like Ame's soon going to have another baby to look after.
Got a phone call and an email last week, and it turns out that there is I believe she's coming up to be about 2 years old now, female Bornean orangutan who was orphaned at birth, and they haven't been successful putting her back in the group in Paris. This is the old menagerie zoo in Paris, and their baby orangutan Linger will be coming to join Aris, Jolie, Xiaoning, and Ame now in our nursery group, so it's becoming quite a little international set.
Rescuing primates or giving them a home when needed is a crucial part of Monkey World's work. Linger will be the 186th primate to join the park. And it's animal manager Jeremy who's made the journey to Paris to collect her. He'll need to spend time getting to know Linger. It's important she has someone she feels comfortable with to help her to settle into her new life.
This must be Linger. She's the only one that's the right sort of size and age. Certainly looks in good shape. Right, well, let's go and say hello to her then.
And next time, Jeremy gets more than he bargained for. Linger has him under attack.
No, not the aerial assault, no!
In Paddy's chimp group, all hell breaks out. Over a big fruit lolly. And Allison says her goodbyes to Julio, the woolly monkey she hand-reared from birth.
Job well done, I guess, because he's quite a nice little lad. Even though you do suck your thumb still. I know.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, Chimp toddler Brian finally makes friends with bad boy Sheamus. But later, they fall out again. And it's moving day for the Gibbons as the park arranges an ape wife swap.
We're going to give them the best option that we can by offering her another male and by offering him a lady who won't be quite so nasty to him.
Monkey World is home to the largest collection of golden-cheeked gibbons outside Asia. They're an endangered species, so breeding them in captivity is vitally important. In an effort to get the gibbons to mate, the park has decided to change some of their domestic arrangements. That's going to mean moving some gibbons, and here's how they're going to do it. Now pay attention. Raphael's moving in with Alex, and Jake's going over to Zoe. Because of this, they've got to shift Pungyo, Peanut and Tian to a new enclosure. In the wild, gibbons swing at speeds of up to 35 miles an hour. It's never easy moving one gibbon, never mind 7.
Bit of a big day with the gibbon section today. We're doing a bit of a swap round, so a lot going on. A lot of timings to be calculated and animals to be moved, and all got to be done in the right order. So it's, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll all go really smoothly.
First up, it's Raphael and Zoe. They've lived together for some time, but their relationship is just not going anywhere.
Gibbons do pair for life, but we have to remember that our gibbons have had very unnatural, disturbed backgrounds. We don't know why Zoe has lived with Raphael for 2 years and suddenly rejected him. But it was a very energetic and violent rejection. She did not want him at all. And if we were to keep them together, we would have had very badly injured gibbons. So we're going to give them the best option that we can by offering her another male and by offering him a lady who won't be quite so nasty to him.
And it just so happens that Jake and Alex haven't been getting along too well either.
Jake and Alex don't so much have issues, but they're not a great pair. Alex is a little bit dogged by Jake, to be honest with you. He's a little bit like a love-sick puppy following around, and I think she quite likes some space. I actually think that Raphael might be a slightly better match. He's got a slightly more playful side to him, and Alex does like a little bit of a game. So hopefully that'll bring out her playful nature too.
So the park has come up with a practical solution, a wife swap.
We're trying to do it as much as possible without any sedation, which can be tricky. Obviously, trying to get a gibbon to walk into a box when he doesn't know what's happening to him is a little bit much to ask, but so far it's going really well. It's plan, absolute perfect. We couldn't have asked for any better.
Raphael gets this complex moving day off to a flying start by just walking into his transport crate. But will all the movers prove to be as accommodating?
Open. Open now. Are you ready?
Worldwide, all 9 species of gibbons are being forced to the brink of extinction. Hopefully the park's efforts will result in some new gibbon babies.
How well they go and how quickly their pair bond, how long's a piece of string? We can't tell. Babies, yeah, of course, we want them, but just give them time. We'll just give them time. She'll get pregnant when she's ready.
With one couple moved, there's one couple to go. But there's a problem. For this last pair to move, Peanut and her family has to move first. Over in the orangutan nursery, Aris is being trained to be as relaxed around transport boxes as Gibbon Raphael. It'll be less stressful for him if he learns to walk into his travel box by himself without the need for anaesthetic.
Aris! Great!
While one keeper tempts Aris into the box with treats, a second stays by the sliding door.
I'm going to be on the slide, obviously, so he's got to be used that someone's always going to be on the slide because eventually we will shut it. And Kate's just going to encourage him in with nice little treats, really, just to encourage him in, make it a really, really exciting place to be in that box.
Good boy, Aris.
He's coming out in and out of the box quite happily. But we're now starting to work on duration. Good boy. So once he's been in there for a longer period of time, I'll click him for that and then give him a reward.
At 4 years old, Aris is outgrowing the nursery, and the team are preparing him for a move to the larger enclosure.
Aris can be a little bit boisterous with the youngsters sometimes, and he's, you know, he's growing up a little bit now, he's getting a bit older, so maybe it's time to be with the older guys.
For Aris, this is simply a great game, and it's played in stages.
Taking it very, very slowly, and then eventually we'll get to the stage where we can shut it completely, and we'll click and reward him, and then we'll open it straight away, and then we'll extend that period of time. It's just to make him feel comfortable that he's not going to be stuck in that box forever.
Good boy, Aris.
It's gone really, really well. He's done absolutely brilliantly today. We've managed to shut the slide quite a lot, and he's not reacted or negatively anyway, so it's gone really, really well.
Aris will be moving in a couple of weeks' time, when everybody hopes he will happily go in and out of the box.
Good boy, Aris. Good boy.
Over in the chimp nursery, newest recruit Brian is flourishing under the watchful eye of foster mum Sally. And he seems to have found a new way of getting around the enclosure. When Brian first arrived, bad boy Sheamus was jealous of the new arrival. And foster mum Sally often had to intervene. But now the pair are friends, and thanks to Sheamus's mischievous influence, Brian is becoming more adventurous. Just like humans, chimpanzee toddlers develop and grow stronger by playing and exploring, and Sheamus is helping Brian do just that. But best of all, could it be that Brian is actually helping Sheamus learn to play nicely? Later, Brian learns some harsh lessons about chimp etiquette. Back with the Gibbon wife swap, Raphael's moving in with Alex and Jake's joining Zoe. But their new home is currently occupied by Peanut and her family, so there are yet more Gibbons to move.
We're going to bring Peanut, Pungyo and Tien down here to the bottom Gibbon house, where they will live as a family unit. They're growing in every way, numbers as well as size. Tien's growing up hugely now, and he's going to have this amazing space out here with trees and everything to run about in. So we're hoping that the family will live down here quite happily, and we'll sort everybody else out with their new accommodation too.
Raphael's move was textbook, but Peanut hasn't been trained to walk into a transport crate. Peanut's baby Tien is only a year old, and it's still natural for him to cling to his mum. To reduce his stress, they will move together, but Peanut is going to have to be sedated.
Sedation can be dangerous. Any anaesthetic is a worry and a risk. So if we can avoid it, we avoid it. But if we can't, we have to go for it.
For the animal manager, Jeremy, it's not going to be easy. He needs to wait until Tien moves a safe distance away from his mum.
I'm not going to try and dart mum when she's holding a baby. So, you know, there's lots of this. They will be difficult. Gibbons are always a nightmare.
Meanwhile, the park's vet Femke prepares the dart.
They're quite difficult to dart. They move around a lot, and then the moment you hold your breath, they just move up and you just miss.
The thing with any darting is you've got to be patient. You know, if you miss 2 or 3 times or have a dart failure, you've got to live with it. Just, if you start getting wound up about it, then you have to walk away and come back tomorrow.
Wendy waits nervously. But Jeremy manages to sedate Peanut. And then it's a quick trip to get Mum and Baby over to the other side of the park and into their new home. Peanut is gently placed into the bedroom, with Tien firmly attached. The team now has to wait for her to come round from her anaesthetic. It's a tense time waiting for any primate to wake up, but especially with these apes that are so rare and endangered. Coming up, Jake is proof that no 2 gibbons ever get in a box the same way.
Jake, come here.
No. No.
And toddler Brian gets a lesson in chimp manners. At Monkey World in Dorset, the atmosphere is tense in the new Gibbon house. Golden-cheeked gibbons are an endangered primate species. The staff are waiting anxiously for Peanut to come round from her anaesthetic. She's been sedated to move her and her family across the park to a much larger enclosure. Her baby, Tien, clings on tightly to her.
Peanut has been darted, Chen obviously not. He's still awake, he's even drinking from her now. I have to wait again to give her the reversal, because one of the 2 ingredients we gave her should wear off first, because it will make her hallucinate if she still has that in her and she wakes up a little bit. So we wait another 10 minutes and then reverse the 1 agent, and then she'll wake up slowly and Chen hopefully will be fine. But she's breathing steady and she looks all right. She's in a recovery position now.
Satisfied that enough time has passed, Femke can give Peanut the anaesthetic reversal injection. Now, all they can do is wait. Three gibbons down, 3 to go. Zoe and Jake should be a simple prospect. They've both been well trained, so they will not need to be anaesthetised.
But they both walk into the box really, really well and give us enough time to shut the slide. We haven't as yet shut the slides on them while they're in the box. We didn't want to scare them or put them off. We've actually only had a very short period of time to do this training with them, so we didn't want any negative at all. So today will be the first day that that slide is shut behind them.
First up, Zoe.
Perfectly walked into the box for us. No stress, no worries. Walked into the box, got rewarded for it, and now we're going to take her to her new home. Without any stress, no anaesthetic. Ideal, absolutely perfect. Right. Such a good girl in there, aren't you? Such a good girl, Zoe. Where are you going?
Ready?
Yep. Good girl, Zoe. Good girl. Straight in and shut the slide.
Didn't seem very worried, did you?
No.
Good job. Did that well?
Perfect. Couldn't have planned it any better. Out of a box, up a chute, into the bedroom.
And now for Jake. This should be simple.
Come on then.
Not fully in. Not fully in. No. No.
Get your foot in, I can see you. Come on.
No.
Or not.
Jake, come here. Come here. Come on, Jake.
No. No.
But after a few words of encouragement and the lure of some tasty grapes, Jake gives in.
No.
Get your foot in. Come on.
Got it.
Good job. Good job.
Boy, Jake. Well done, Holly.
With Jake in the box, it's a quick trip over to the other side of the park. And before he knows it, he's well on his way to joining new mate Zoe.
He's on his way.
Here we go.
Everybody hopes that Zoe and Jake will make a perfect couple. But before they're introduced, they'll be given a few days to get used to their new surroundings. Coming up, baby Tien is still clinging to his mother. Will she wake up safely from the anaesthetic? This afternoon, the chimp nursery have been given one of their favourite treats. Fruit-flavoured ice lollies. And they're about to test the newfound friendship between Brian and Sheamus. Some of the ices have been placed in the pond, so the chimps have to work harder at getting them. But they don't like water. This is no problem for clever Sheamus. There's no way new recruit Brian will brave the water. But Sally is willing to chance a wet leg in order to get hold of one. At last, Brian decides to grab a lolly for himself. They've all gone. Upset, he heads over to Sally. But Sally firmly lets him know it's her lolly and it's staying that way. Plan B. Brian sidles up to his new buddy, Sheamus. But Sheamus lets Brian know exactly how things are. Chimps can be extremely persistent. It's time for Plan C. Lulu. No chance. And her nip comes as a nasty shock. For the youngsters, the nursery is usually all about playtime, but it also helps develop social skills. And it seems Brian hasn't quite got the idea that you don't take things that don't belong to you. But finally, Sally shows the soft side he was hoping for. Now she's on her second ice lolly, she doesn't mind sharing a bit with Brian. Unlike Sheamus, who's not about to share his monster stash with anybody. At last, Brian manages to get an ice to himself. And it looks like he's now grasped chimp lesson number 1. If you've got something worth keeping, then stay out of everyone's way. Back with golden-cheeked Gibbon Peanut, her anaesthetic reversal injection should be working.
Peanut. How long since she's had the reversal?
4 minutes.
At last, Peanut starts to come round.
Hello, sweetie. Good morning.
Hey, Peanutter. Not so horrid people around. Come and say hello to me. You've still got Tien.
And Wendy is relieved.
Come on, sweetheart. Come on.
Every time you put an animal under sedation, they need to be able to hear their keepers or someone they trust, their voice. Just like you would come around for an anaesthetic, you want to hear a voice telling you everything's all right and everything's fine and you've done well and you're still there, and you want to be able to recognise that voice. So I'm a known factor. I'm not like Jeremy or the vet who does the darting. I'm not the nasty one, as it were. I'm the good guy, or at least I'm supposed to be the good guy. So hopefully she'll forgive me.
Hello, sweet pea. You gonna come and say hello? Come and say hello. Too scary.
Tien's happy because Mum's sitting up. I just wanted to come over to me just to say hello. There's my sweetheart. Oh, you are still very wobbly, aren't you? Still very wobbly. Hello, darling. Hello, sweetheart.
Now Mum and Baby are safely settled in, it's time for Dad, Peng Yo, to rejoin his family. This family's new enclosure has more space and a natural tree-filled environment in which Tien can grow up. Peng Yo is straight out of his travel box as if nothing has happened and is soon exploring the new space.
The family are back together and I couldn't be more delighted, to be honest with you. Peng Yo doesn't like being away from Peanut. Peanut doesn't like being away from Peng Yo. Baby's all sorted out. Tien's got Mum and Dad back again. I'm happy. They're happy. Relax. Really good to see them back together.
Next time, join us for a Monkey Life special. It's been 5 years in the planning and an exciting new project for park director Allison. Monkey World's first foreign sanctuary for endangered primates is finally a reality as the team breaks ground on their Gibbon Rescue Centre in Vietnam.
Perhaps this is something that actually we could do, that Monkey World and the Vietnamese government could grab hold of and actually do something significant for an endangered species before it faces extinction.
We track through dense jungle trying to find wild golden-cheeked gibbons. But will the team see more than just a glimpse of these elusive creatures? And from gibbons in the wild to those at Monkey World, Peanut and her family experience life in the treetops for the very first time in their new home. This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. Orangutan youngster Xiao Ning goes crazy on too much sugary fruit. But little chimp Eddie will be lucky if she gets her hands on any treats at all. And animal manager Jeremy prepares to take a huge risk to help adult male chimpanzee Jimmy.
I reckon I can go in with him.
Monkey World is home to 15 different species of apes and monkeys. With this many primates, medical emergencies are inevitable. 23-year-old Jimmy has a nasty leg infection, and no one knows what caused it. The keepers try to clean it every day, but it's not easy through the mesh.
Jim leg. Jim leg.
So animal manager Jeremy has a plan.
Hello, Jim leg. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is to try and, move on so that he'll let me have his leg so I can bathe it better than, than through the mesh.
It's very difficult to give treatment to wild animals. Male chimpanzees are up to 6 times stronger than an adult man. Jimmy could cause Jeremy serious harm. The door has been opened just a few inches, enough for Jeremy and Jimmy to make physical contact. But the staff are on standby as Jimmy could decide to push the door open further and the situation could become very dangerous.
See your leg. Give me your leg. No, that's your good arm. I want your bad leg. I want your bad leg. Yes, I do.
Jimmy and Jeremy need to earn each other's trust, and grooming is the perfect way to do this.
If I let him groom me,
then ideally he'll let me groom him. And if I can do everything so it isn't hurting him, then that's a good way of getting access to his leg so that I can actually put stuff on it.
All animals are good at hiding pain. This protects them from showing weakness to others, so no one knows how much pain Jimmy might be in. His medication will help any discomfort, but if the wound itself doesn't begin to heal, the exposed bone will dry and he could lose his leg. Jeremy and the staff are doing everything they can to help.
The thing is, me and Jimmy go back a long way. He was a part of the original A-team, if you like, the first chimps. You know, I've known Jimmy for 20 years. You know, the more we can help him, the better the chances are we can save the leg. What do you want? You want that? Did that go up your nose? Did those bubbles go up your nose?
It's important that Jeremy can see the wound close up to see if it's responding to the treatment. Cleaning Jimmy's leg is a daily routine, but Jeremy tries to make it fun. And now Jimmy has even started to copy him.
I gave him one of these yesterday and he actually dabbed his own leg with it, but with nothing on it, just with an empty swab. See? Yeah, they're good. See? He dabs his own leg with it. If you want to do it yourself, that's fine with me. I'm going to try anything here. I'm renowned for it. You know, you'd be bound to be cautious about letting somebody touch something that hurts. So I've just got to convince him that it doesn't hurt. And this is a reasonable request to let me pick your scab and dab you with iodine and all that sort of stuff.
Later, the team fear Jimmy's infection could be getting worse, so Jeremy must get a swab from it. But this means the door between them is going to have to be opened even further.
He knows I want that swab, so he's not playing.
And in the Orang nursery, Xiao Ning shows she's boss when it comes to getting hold of the treats. This morning in Paddy's chimp group, there's an air of excitement. Breakfast is on its way, and it's coming pre-packed. The yogurts and wheat snacks are healthy, and the packets that they come in are challenging and interesting. This breakfast is a special treat, and Paddy knows it. He takes advantage of his position as top chimp to grab as much as he can, as quickly as he can. Chimpanzees live in a strict hierarchy. Those at the top get the most, those at the bottom, the least. And there's one small chimp who's determined not to be at the bottom. Running as fast as her legs will carry her, here comes Eddie. In the wild, it's natural for youngsters to beg for food from adults. And as the youngest of the group, Eddie's a begging professional. Her first target, Cindy. And poor low-ranking Mickey isn't having any luck at all. Hebe is also one of the youngsters of the group and having some of the same difficulties as Eddie. Meanwhile, Eddie's busy targeting the soft touches in the group. Next up, Beth. But Beth's a tougher prospect than Eddie thought. She's not getting anywhere with her. Hebe's landed herself a banana. She'd better eat up before someone takes it off her. Eddie's struck out twice, and she's not used to failure. It's time to get serious, so she targets Zoe. And the tactic pays off. At 24, Zoe is a mature lady, and these days she likes an easy life, even if that means giving up some of her goodies. Eddie's no fool. If no one else is falling for her techniques, she can always rely on Zoe. And now she's struck lucky, she's not about to share with anybody. Back in the chimpanzee bedrooms, animal manager Jeremy has returned to see Jimmy. He needs to get a swab from Jimmy's infected leg for analysis. Today, the adult male will just not let the keepers near his wound for treatment, and they're concerned that the infection may get worse. So far, the door between them has only been slightly open, but now it will be opened fully. It's nerve-wracking, as now there will be no barriers between the pair.
I reckon I can go in with him.
This is a very dangerous situation. Jeremy has 34 years' experience working with animals and has developed a unique relationship with them. But going in with youngsters is very different from being face-to-face with an adult male chimp. So far, Jimmy has been placid, but this could change at any moment. No one knows if he's in pain. If he is, he could get agitated. And he's been known to be aggressive in the past. But as there's still a chance that he could lose his leg, Jeremy will do all he can to help. And to do that, he has to get closer. Armed with goodies, Jeremy's confident that opening the door fully is the right thing to do.
You're not having all, no, you're not having all of it. No. Right, open it all the way.
But it's been a long time since the two have been in together, and Jeremy is nervous.
We've got banana. There's banana. How's your leg? Eh? Come on. Now, I have not been in with him for probably 17 years or so. So, but, you know, this isn't... I just haven't opened the door and walked in. This is something I've been building up to for I have. Look, I know what I'm talking about. Oh, you're not going to hurt me, are you? No, because we're mates, aren't we? Are we mates? Yes, you're supposed to say... You didn't do the right thing then, did you? No, don't put my hand in your mouth. I don't play that game. No, this is all mine. This is all my stuff in here. You're not having any. No, it's all mine. It's all mine.
Although Jeremy isn't completely inside the room, standing in the doorway is every bit as dangerous. But he stays focused on getting the swab he needs.
He's on loads of antibiotics, but maybe he's not on the right antibiotic at the moment, so we need to get a sample so the laboratory can identify what we're dealing with and prescribe the right antibiotic for it. So that's my mission today, assuming Jimmy's playing ball. He's getting a little bit, so, I mean, he doesn't want people messing with his leg, obviously, but he's getting a little bit more, even more sensitive. No, excuse me, you're going back in there. No, you're not coming in here. No, you stay there. I'm here, you're there, OK? Yes. No, it's no good doing that. That's the last bit of that. Can I just have this one stab of your leg? Just a little stab. Just a little stab. Go on, let me stab it. Go on, just a stab. Go, give me your leg. Give me your leg. Give me your leg. No, I'm going to stab it. Hey, what? Can I just put that in your leg? No, you mustn't touch it. No, get out. Get back in there. Go on. No, come on, give me your leg. Give me your leg. No, this is Jeremy land. See that line there? Don't go past it, all right? This is my patch. Come here. Come on.
Jimmy knows what Jeremy is after and starts playing up.
Don't get all sensitive on me. He knows I want that swab, so he's not playing.
Later,
Yes. Hello.
will Jeremy get the swab he needs from Jimmy's leg?
Jimmy, don't blame me if your leg falls off.
And Eddie still may be the youngest of the group, but it's time for her to take the next step into adulthood.
She's 6.5 years of age now, so it's been agreed that we'll put her on the pill as we did with Hebe when Hebe was 6.
At Monkey World in Dorset, animal manager Jeremy is on a mission to get a swab from chimpanzee Jimmy.
Go on, let me stab it. Go on, go, give me your leg. Give me your leg. Give me your leg.
Jimmy has an ulcerated leg wound and doesn't want anyone touching it. He's on medication, but the infection could be growing. The team need a swab to find out.
He knows I want that swab, so he's not playing. Jimmy.
The adult male was happy to hang out with Jeremy by the doorway, but now he's moved into another room.
Jimmy.
And not even treats are tempting him back in.
What's this? This? Hello? You tart. Come over here. Jimmy. I can see you. I'll do a little pyramid with them. Jimmy. I'm looking. Don't blame me if your leg falls off. I'm trying to help.
Frustrated, Jeremy opts for a bit of chimp speak. Which seems to perk up Jimmy's interest.
That's easy for you to say. Isn't it? Is that your final word on the matter? Or do you want time to think? And phone a friend or something like that? Well, I don't blame him. You know, a nasty wound like that, with somebody jabbing a swab into it isn't very pleasant, is it? No. Well, you just want to play silly games now, don't you? You just want to play silly games just because you're a silly, silly boy. Yes, you are.
Jimmy's now distracted by his favourite yoghurt.
God, I'm good. It's all a learning curve. I mean, he was as nervous as I was to start with, but now it's... We're getting more relaxed together, but equally I mustn't let him be in charge. Otherwise it's, you know, you mustn't let it get too familiar. Otherwise it'll end in tears, and they'll probably be mine. They'll definitely be mine. You want to play rough games, and then when you get rough, you'll soon realise that I'm a little wimp. I'm not nearly as strong as you. You are ready to, on that slide, to close it quickly if needs be.
Jeremy's mission has gone well, but a reminder of Jimmy's size and strength is never far away.
I'm not going to be in here for much longer because you want to come through here now, don't you? And I don't want you through here with me. So if I give you that Coke in there and then Lee closes the door, then that'll be good. Won't it? No. There we go. Well, Lee, close the door. There you go.
It'll be a few days before the results of the swab come back. Then the team will know if the wound can heal and if Jimmy will keep his leg. Later, there's planning to be done as young chimp Eddie fast approaches adulthood.
What we don't want to happen is at her age, such a young age, is have her get pregnant.
Today, the nursery orangutans are getting a real treat: papaya. First to spot the fruit is newcomer Linger. She's only been at the park for a few weeks, but she's already one of the gang. In the wild, fruit is a large part of the orang's diet, and papaya is high in vitamin C and a good source of fibre. But it's also high in sugar, which affects these apes just like it does humans, especially Xiaoning. With fruit placed around the enclosure, all of the orangs should get a chance to try some, but the little ones are gonna have to be quick. Xiaoning finds some in her favourite spot. And May can't shake off Jolie quick enough. May is usually a mother figure to the youngsters, but today the papaya is more important. In the wild, fruiting trees bring mothers and their young together. When food is plentiful, it gives them a chance to spend time together and bond. But at the park, Xiao Ning's not wasting any time with pleasantries. She's even prepared to swipe a piece off her sister, getting away with the big bit and leaving her sister with the rind. It looks like Xiao Ning's experiencing the beginnings of a sugar rush as she heads off to find more. Aris, on the other hand, is totally stuffed. And Dinda, who's finally got a piece to herself, is feeling very content. It's time to relax with her new best friend, Linger. While Xiao Ning acts as a reminder why too much sugar in the afternoon is not always a good thing for youngsters. Over in Paddy's chimp group, youngster Eddie is not so young anymore. She's losing her baby status and the privileges that come with it, much to her annoyance. Her family is already starting to treat her more like an adult. And the primate care staff are also having to adapt.
Eddie, come on. Come and get this, come on. It's a big day today. Eddie, she's just, she's 6.5 years of age now. She started having small little swellings, so it's been agreed with the team leader, Allison, and the vet, that we'll put her on the pill as we did with Hebe when Hebe was 6.
When a female is in season, the skin around her rump swells pink and acts as a visible signal to the male chimps that she's ready to mate. Monkey World likes to have room for other primates that need rescuing, so usually operates a non-breeding policy. So now they're going to have to exercise caution as Eddie is nearing the crucial age of reproduction.
It's usually around about the age of 8 or 10, they can start to come into reproductives and start having babies. She's only 6.5. We've started the pill now because she's getting swellings, but what we don't want to happen is that, say, in another year's time when she's 7.5, where she could get pregnant, is at her age, at such a young age, is have her get pregnant.
The female chimps used to have contraceptive coils inserted into the uterus, but sometimes the body would reject them, meaning the chimps were not protected against pregnancy.
That's why, little Eddie's here now, through mishaps on the contraception.
So, Monkey World is now using the human contraceptive pill on chimpanzees.
Because obviously there's no medical background on tests with chimpanzees, and so far it has proved to have worked really well.
But just as with human females, taking the contraceptive pill is not always straightforward.
If any of the females become ill, and we need to treat with antibiotics, we need to keep a very close eye on those females because antibiotics can have a reverse effect on the contraceptive pill.
Eddie will now take her pill every day at the same time with a drink of her favourite juice.
Good girl.
Next time, chimpanzee Brian gets a painful lesson when he goes outdoors for the first time.
Obviously, he's got to learn the electric fence. Good boy.
Woolly monkey Julio also takes his first steps outside. And in Paddy's chimp group, Lee gets hands-on with Susie. Is she pregnant for the second time? This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, Linger meets her new family in the orangutan nursery. Baby Jolie is not impressed.
Jolie is a green-eyed monster. She thinks of Ame as her mum, and she's not going to share her mum.
In the Bachelor Chimp Pad, a pile of blankets brings out Buxom's greedy side. And chimpanzee Jimmy has a very serious leg wound.
If it continues to get worse, then it's very serious. And yes, he could lose that leg easily.
Monkey World is home to over 160 primates, and the staff work hard at keeping them occupied and entertained. This morning, keeper Andy is on his way to see the bachelor chimps with something very special for them, a pile of old sheets and blankets.
The basic idea is we stack it up, so it's in a different presentation than they've seen before, so hopefully they'll get extra fun out of knocking it over, throwing it around, and then they'll probably go into their usual behaviours of putting it over the top of their head, running around chasing each other, that kind of thing.
Just like humans, a chimp's primary sense is sight, and it doesn't take long for Sammy to spot the blankets and do exactly what keeper Andy expected. And as the other chimps cotton on, it becomes clear that there are an awful lot of things you can do with a blanket. How about a portable tent? Or you could just pick out your favourite colour. Or how about breakfast in bed? Or forget about breakfast and just stay in bed. But Rocky's not fooled. He knows how things work here at the park. The keepers have definitely hidden some treats amongst these sheets. Haven't they? With the high-ranking chimps distracted, the low-rankers get a chance to eat breakfast in peace. And it looks like Spanish Charlie's stocking up for lunch too. Meanwhile, high-ranking Buxom has decided that he needs a lot of blankets. After all, they make a perfect den. Buxom's den is important to him, and he needs just one more blanket. Sammy's will do. While the bachelors are outside enjoying their blankets, over in Paddy's chimp group, there's a medical problem. 23-year-old Jimmy has a nasty leg infection. It started as a small blister, but now he has an infected ulceration. Wildlife vet John Lewis has been called in.
I'm not sure what's caused that, whether it's an infected wound that's just, progressed, an infection which we haven't controlled with antibiotics, or what it is. But well, I'm told there was nothing caustic put on the leg, which is another possible reason, so we'll have to go with infection.
All animals are good at hiding pain. This protects them from showing weakness to others. So no one knows if Jimmy's leg is causing him discomfort, but he's on medication just in case. The worry is, does the infection go any deeper?
I can't see whether the bone's exposed. I don't think it is at the moment. They have more tissue there than we do, but that's the danger. And if the bone gets exposed, it'll dry, and then you'll get problems with the bone. But it should heal up if we get the right antibiotic.
Jimmy will remain separated from his group until the wound begins to heal. The keepers will need to monitor him closely to make sure his leg doesn't deteriorate. But later, Jimmy shows he's less than a perfect patient.
don't interfere with that wound, leave the dressing alone. Well, you can say that until you're blue in the face to him. He's going to mess with it.
And John's expertise is needed in another chimp group. It's just a routine procedure, but there's a complication.
One of the animals might just be pregnant.
Monkey World is home to 14 orangutans living in 3 groups. This morning, big male Tuan and his ladies are getting a surprise. Sugarcane. Sugarcane isn't a native food for orangutans, so they're not sure what to make of the big sticks hanging around their enclosure. Lucky is the first to investigate. Roro is completely bemused. She struggles with one of the canes for a bit. Then she gives up and heads off to find the more familiar fruit and vegetables. Tuan's equally confused by the sugarcane. He doesn't realise it's edible, so he's tucking into his usual breakfast. But Lucky's had a taste and discovered it's very good. So there's only one thing for it. Grab as much of the stuff as you can before the others find out. Xiaolan is the lowest ranking member of the group. She sits patiently, knowing it's best to hang back until the others have had their share. Tuan's finally realised how delicious the sugarcane is. And now he's got the taste for it, he wastes no time in hoovering up the rest before the girls get to it. With the rest of the group occupied, Xiaolan spots her chance and grabs a chunk, heading up high to enjoy it in peace. And she discovers it's been well worth waiting for. These orangs aren't the only ones getting sugarcane today. Will Gordon and his gang work out how tasty they are quicker than Tuan's group? On the other side of the park, wildlife vet John Lewis is on his next medical task of the day.
2 of the female chimps here have contraceptive implants under the skin. They're little rods that give off the same kind of chemicals as you get from the contraceptive pill. And they last a couple of years. We're at the end of those 2 years. So we have to take out the old ones and put in the new ones.
All the adult females here are on contraception, as Monkey World usually operates a non-breeding policy to make room for other rescued primates. The park has found the contraceptive pill to be the most effective method. But Jess and Evelyn don't always take theirs, so they have to have contraceptive implants. These have proved to be very effective. The chimps have to be anaesthetised for the implants to be put in place, but they only have to go through this procedure every 2 years. Jess is the first to be anaesthetised. John is joined by Monkey World's vet, Femke.
Oh, I feel something here.
You got it.
Human females have only 1 implant put in at a time, but the park chooses 2 implants for the chimps.
1 implant would stop pregnancy, and that's fine. But if you use a higher dose by using 2 rods, then you also suppress cycling. In other words, the animal doesn't go through an estrus period, which means you don't get males fighting over an estrus female, which means you have more group harmony. And if that's what we want, and in this case we did, we use 2. But it doesn't have any greater side effects, doesn't seem to, but achieves a little bit more of what we need.
That's 1.
Good. The implant is some kind of semi-permeable plastic which allows the drug contained inside it to leach out slowly over a long period of time. As I say, we put 2 in a chimp, but I think 1 is the normal human dose. As you see, it's very small. And it's very inert. In other words, it doesn't cause a great reaction in the body. So once the hole you've made in the skin has settled down, it doesn't irritate them.
Jess's implants are removed and replaced easily. But it might be a different story for Evelyn. Mysteriously, she's been putting on a lot of weight.
There's one complication. One of the animals might just be pregnant. So that means either a failure of the contraceptive or she's managed to get it out without us noticing. So we have to check her by an ultrasound scan first, find out why she's got a swollen belly. If that's not pregnant, we can fit her with more implants. If it is pregnant, we don't give her a contraceptive. Obviously, we let her go through the pregnancy and have the youngster as normal.
Coming up, will the ultrasound reveal whether Evelyn is pregnant?
If that swelling is a result of pregnancy, you should expect to feel a head or, some part of the skeleton of the fetus.
Baby orang Linger meets her new family.
We have contact, almost.
And John is needed back at the chimpanzee pavilions. Jimmy's leg has taken a turn for the worse.
I can see how close the bone is to the surface, and it's extremely close. And yes, he could lose that leg easily.
At Monkey World in Dorset, the medical team has anaesthetised female chimpanzee Evelyn. They need to replace her contraceptive implant, but recently she's gained weight, so first they need to check whether she's pregnant.
If that swelling is a result of pregnancy, you should expect to feel a head or, some part of the skeleton of the fetus. But obviously the scan will tell us exactly.
Ultrasonographer David Harding can't find a fetus yet.
What we're actually getting is these multiple rings pretty much throughout the abdomen, which maybe there's quite a lot of gas in there, but also it's suggesting there's quite a lot of fat in there.
The ultrasound has shown Evelyn's large stomach is actually due to an over-enthusiastic appetite, and not a pregnancy. This gives animal manager Jeremy food for thought.
There's 18 chimps in this group, so to put in enough food for 18 chimps, people at the bottom end of the ladder are not going to get anything. They're just not going to get anything to eat. So you have to overfeed them just to make sure everybody gets some. But then, if an animal's really obese, you've got various ways of sorting that depending on how bad the situation is. I mean, if it's a really, really bad situation, we could isolate her at food time and give her nice but non-fattening things. But I don't think the situation's that bad here. She's just got a bit of a belly. I mean, she's not obese, she's just a bit porky. And really a bit of extra blubber isn't exactly the end of the world. I mean, I get away with it, so, maybe she can.
Now the team knows Evelyn isn't pregnant, they can go ahead and put in the new contraceptive implants. Later, baby orang Linger has a difficult meeting with one of her new roommates.
Jolie thinks of Ame as her mum, and she's not going to share her mum.
And vet John's work continues. Is chimpanzee Jimmy causing himself irreparable damage?
I can't see how I can repair that surgically. There isn't enough tissue to close the defect.
Today, the orangutans have been getting sugarcane treats, and now it's time for Gordon and his gang to try them. Gordon doesn't know what to make of the unfamiliar objects. Baby Kai is investigating, and even though Gordon doesn't know what the sugarcane is, he's suddenly eager to hoard it before Kai gets to it. But Kai's decided that this is not food as he knows it. So he heads off, with a helping hand from Amy. Sugarcane isn't a native food for orangutans, but they prove if it's sweet, it's good enough for them. Meanwhile, Kai gingerly tries a piece. And as soon as the sweet flavours hit his taste buds, he can't get it in quick enough. Gordon's finally realised how delicious the sugarcane is. and he's putting his hands and feet to good use to hold on to as much of the sweet stuff as possible. Like every toddler, Kai's got a sweet tooth. Now he's tasted the treats, he's not going to miss out. He tries his luck with Amy. Amy loves her food, so Kai's got his work cut out. But persistence and cuteness can go a long way. Flushed with success, Kai's on the prowl. He targets Mum, but Xiao Kuai is no pushover. Kai may be cute, but she's holding tightly to her stash. So Kai's relying on persistence. Extreme persistence, and Mum just doesn't stand a chance. Just like in the wild, it's Xiao Kuai's role as Mum to teach her youngster what to eat and how to find it. And Kai's proving to be a fast learner. He even knows the most comfortable spot for lunch. Kai is the only orang at the park to be raised by his mother in a family group. The other babies were hand-reared when their mums rejected them. They all live together in the orangutan nursery and are cared for by foster mum, Ah Mei. Recently, they've welcomed a new arrival, baby Linger.
Hello, beautiful girl.
Today, Linger is meeting the 3 young girls of the group under the watchful eye of Ah Mei.
Ah Mei, go get Grape.
She's careful not to frighten Linger and keeps her distance, while Linger holds on tightly to a bundle of wood wool for reassurance. Linger was born in a zoo in Paris almost 2 years ago. She was hand-reared and couldn't be integrated with the older orangs. But she's confident and outgoing. Everybody's hopeful that a new family at Monkey World will take to her.
Oh, not the aerial assault, no!
At Monkey World's creche, 2-year-old Jolie has a very close bond with Ah Mei and is not at all impressed by new girl Linger. Jolie won't let go of her foster mum.
We have contact, almost. Who's that?
But eventually, Ah Mei makes contact with Linger, albeit briefly.
Linger's doing very well. She's, obviously she's been dropped in at the deep end and she's reacting very well. She's not doing anything wrong. Just learning new people.
Jolie, though, is now so upset by Linger's presence, she lashes out at her.
Oi.
But Jeremy's on hand.
No. No. Jolie is a green-eyed monster, and so any interest that Ah Mei shows in the baby here, she has an issue with. That Jolie thinks of Ah Mei as her mum, and she's not going to share her mum. I mean, that's quite totally expected, so we've just got to police that and see how it evolves.
Linger will have several more meetings like this before she joins the group full-time. Over in the chimpanzee bedrooms, Vet John has been called back urgently. Jimmy's leg injury has got worse. What started as a small blister is now an open sore, as Jimmy has peeled away the scab, revealing what's underneath.
What I can see now is more accurately, I can see how close the bone is to the surface, and it's extremely close.
The damage is far more extreme than John originally thought. It's likely that Jimmy is in a lot of pain, but he doesn't show it. In the wild, injured chimps do the same, to hide their weakness. They'll often isolate themselves from the rest of the group, because in an aggressive situation, they can't defend themselves. Here at the park, Jimmy's on medication to ease any pain, and hopefully begin mending his injury.
This is going to take months of treatment, I would think, to get him back to rights. I can't see how I can repair that surgically. There isn't enough tissue to close the defect. So it's got to be medical. And for that, we need to put things on it. I think he's going to need a lot of daily attention. Hopefully, so that we can actually put creams or materials on that wound which will encourage it to close over, to form that the early phases of the scar tissue, the early phases of healing in a way. And that needs to cover the defect. And the gels actually are quite effective in doing that. And of course, in a human, you can say to them, don't interfere with that wound, leave the dressing alone. Well, you can say that until you're blue in the face to him. He's going to mess with it.
If Jimmy were in his natural environment, the tropical climate would have caused an infection, and the outcome would have been fatal.
If it continues to get worse, then it's very serious. If he exposes the bone then dries, and in fact dries and dies, then he'll have dead bone in the lower half of his leg. And yes, he could lose that leg easily.
For Jimmy to have the best chance of keeping his leg, he must let the keepers treat his wound. Animal manager Jeremy briefs his team. They'll go to any lengths to make this happen.
If it costs an arm and a leg, we're saving his leg. OK? And that's our mission. We're going to do it. You know, if he wants caviar to let you put it on his leg, he can have it. If he wants a glass of champagne, he can have it. Whatever he wants. Hopefully he'll do it for a piece of banana, but let me know what you want, and I'll get it.
Will do.
Next time, chimp youngster Eddie is scrounging again. Baby Linger finally bonds with her new orangutan family. And animal manager Jeremy prepares to take a huge risk.
I reckon I can go in with him.
It's the only way he's going to be able to get a swab from Jimmy's wound. This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. Tough love. Chimpanzee Brian learns a painful lesson when he goes outside for the first time.
Lee, we take it off. Obviously, he's got to learn the electric fence. Touch that again, will you?
Will woolly monkey Julio be brave enough to take his first steps outdoors? And in Paddy's chimp group, Lee gets hands-on with Susie. Could she be pregnant for the second time?
Fingers crossed, we're not wrong.
Monkey World is home to over 160 apes and monkeys. To make sure that the animals are healthy, the staff must get close to them. But with wild animals like these, this can be dangerous.
Be careful, my friend.
Mike and Leanne Bates from San Diego Zoo in California have been teaching the primate care staff a technique that makes everybody's lives much easier.
Susie, come on.
Put simply, the primates are rewarded for doing what the keepers ask. They call it operant conditioning.
Come on, Suze. Push it right up. No, no. Good girl.
It's thanks to this training that head keeper Lee can get so close to Susie.
Good girl, Suze. Good girl.
Keeper Hannah is using the same technique with the woolly monkeys.
Hand. Good girl, Paquita.
Paquita is being asked to give Hannah her hand. When she puts her hand through the bars, Hannah uses a clicker to signal that she's done the right thing. Paquita knows that when she hears the clicker, she will be rewarded with a treat. No clicker, no treat. A good incentive to do what Hannah wants.
Good girl.
So Hannah is training these animals to stop individually between the two slides where we can accomplish more of the management behaviors that we need to examine the animals, to draw blood, give injections. With these guys, we measure blood pressure in the tail with a cuff.
Good girl.
This technique is great for health checks and medical procedures, but staff can also use it to train animals to go into travelling boxes without needing an anaesthetic.
Well, right now we're working with the keepers toward achieving something that's not unusual for the lemurs to experience, which is being in a crate. So we're allowing them to go into the crates on their own accord, be rewarded for going in there and actually tolerating the door being closed behind them, and carried around for as long as it takes to get them where they need to be taken. It's taking a negative situation, typically being boxed in the crate, making it into a positive experience so that something that happens on a regular basis during the year isn't such a negative experience for them. His foot's still sticking out. There you go.
Good boy, Julio.
The primates are never forced to participate. If they don't want to take part, they don't have to.
It's stimulating for these animals. They're intelligent, they need mental stimulation as well as nutrition. So it's important for their enrichment, if you will. And we avoid having to do more invasive work like capturing them, restraining them with a net, or even sedating them. So the animals are benefiting in just about every way you can think of.
Lena, tail? Tail? Oh, good girl, Lena.
Later, animal manager Jeremy has his hands full when he tries to check chimp Brian's new teeth.
The thing I was going to say, before Brian interrupted me, was...
And young orangutan Kai proves he has a head for heights. Over in Paddy's chimp group, it's time for their treat of the day, Kongs. Kongs are dog toys filled with hidden treats. These have been stuffed with carrots, apples and parsnips. It's going to be a challenge for the chimps to get the food out of the Kongs. As usual, Boss Paddy has grabbed as many as he can. Now all he's got to do is work out how he can get to the tasty bits. And Paddy's not too smart. Maybe he should take some tips from clever Gamba. He's making the perfect sized tool to get to the food. Paddy is clearly intrigued by Gamba, but surely there's a way that doesn't involve so much brain power. Meanwhile, baby of the bunch, Eddie, is up to her usual tricks, scrounging. But life for Eddie is changing, fast. She's growing up, and she's not finding it so easy to get her own way anymore. Beth doesn't want to share, and Eddie's pouting lips mean she's on the verge of a temper tantrum. This is the point where Mum, Susie, used to rush to her daughter's side. But Eddie's 6 years old now. It's time for her to fend for herself. Sure enough, Eddie blows her top, and Beth just lets her get on with it. She's still not going to give in. Eddie's used to getting her own way, and this is new territory for her. Beth is determined to hold on to her Kong for as long as she can. Which is just about the time it takes for Mum Susie to show up. She doesn't get involved, but her presence and Eddie's persistence is at last enough to let Eddie get her own way. But Beth's not stupid. Eddie's welcome to the Kong. It's empty. Meanwhile, inside the chimp enclosure, headkeeper Lee is using the clicker technique to work with some of the chimps.
Good girl. Give me this hand. Thank you very much. Good girl.
The primate care staff practice this technique on a daily basis, and today Lee is using it to feel Susie's stomach. He thinks she's pregnant.
What we've noticed is obviously Susie's got a lot larger. Her belly's got bigger. And actual nipples have actually changed size again and are becoming more elongated and larger, which is also another sign. And obviously what you need to do is put one hand one side and actually push. And what you're looking for is that generally if there is a baby there, you'll push, and you can only push so far because it'll go hard. And that's what we're actually feeling at the moment. So fingers crossed, we're not wrong.
In the past, the primate care staff used to use human pregnancy tests, but getting a chimp to pee on cue isn't easy.
Hey, Kathy, think dripping taps and cold mountain streams and big waterfalls.
Introducing the clicker training has made things much easier, and it means Lee can keep a very close eye on Susie.
Without the operant conditioning, we would not have this opportunity to, to check her every day, and we would just have to hope everything was going okay and hope that, yes, she isn't, or no, she isn't pregnant, so.
If Susie is pregnant, this'll be her second baby. Her firstborn, Eddie, is now 6 years old and not a baby anymore. It'll be interesting to see how she copes with a new brother or sister.
That's going to be one thing, we're all going to learn here at the park, is how is Eddie going to react when Mum gives birth to another baby? So it's going to be a learning curve for her, as well as Mum, because Mum's going to have to now put a bit of pressure on Eddie to actually say, well, no, you're not the main focus here anymore.
Over in the chimp nursery, animal manager Jeremy is having a physical workout with 3-year-old Brian.
That's all he ever wants to do is fight. He doesn't do any other playing at all. Get out of it. Stop it.
Jeremy hasn't just come in for a fight, he actually needs to check Brian's teeth.
Are you going to let me see your teeth?
It's been a few weeks since Brian had an operation to remove a rotten tooth.
Now, this is going to be very carefully done. You're going to show everybody how your teeth are growing. You've got that great big tombstone in the bottom there.
But baring his teeth is the last thing on Brian's mind.
Go. Oh, no. Oh, oh, oh. Stop it. That's not funny.
Before coming to Monkey World, boisterous Brian lived in Mexico, where he was being trained as a beach photographer's prop.
Good boy, Brian. Good boy.
Whilst there, he had all but 4 of his teeth forcibly removed to stop him biting tourists. Once at the park, wildlife vet John Lewis was called in to see how much damage had been done to Brian's mouth. He discovered a rotten permanent tooth, which had to be removed, and he was worried that more of his adult teeth would be damaged. Luckily, this doesn't seem to be the case.
So John obviously did a good job there, and we took an X-ray and took out all the debris, and now there's no reason why his permanent teeth shouldn't come through normally, which they appear to be doing. And I'm just defending myself from them as we speak.
Brian is the perfect example of why chimps do not make good pets and need to be with their own kind, where rough and tumble is all part of life. At 3 years old, he already has the strength of the average adult human male, and he's definitely putting Jeremy through his paces.
Can I come out now? I've had enough.
Round 1 to Brian. But coming up, Brian's not so cocky when he heads outdoors for the first time.
Oh, without getting too much on, yes, I love you too.
And is woolly monkey Julio brave enough to take his first steps outside? Monkey World in Dorset is home to 10 woolly monkeys. The youngest is 18-month-old Julio. He's been living with his woolly family for more than 6 months now and is comfortable with his inside space. But today, it's a big day for Julio. It's time for him to go outside for the first time. Julio's normally a confident monkey, but the large outside area is a bit scary. The animals at Monkey World are allowed to develop at their own pace, so if Julio isn't quite brave enough right now, there's no rush. The rest of the group are out and about enjoying one of their native fruits, tamarillos. Woolly monkeys have very particular nutritional needs, and tamarillos are perfect for them as they're low in sugar and help boost their immune system. It's the first time the group have tried this fruit, and they seem to be enjoying them. By placing them high in the enclosure, the keepers ensure that the woolies hunt for their food as much as they would do in the wild. Woolly monkeys have a prehensile tail, which acts as a fifth limb. It's adapted for seizing and grasping, and it's strong enough to hold their entire body weight. Julio's still wary of the large outside space, but the hanging fruit is tempting him. In the wild, babies move around on their mothers and get guidance on what to eat. But as Julio was hand-reared, he has to learn for himself. And Julio is learning fast. He's finally been brave enough to get his own tamarillo. But he's not quite brave enough to eat it outside, so he heads back to the safety of his indoor enclosure. The outside encounter may have been brief, but it's a massive step forward for him. And it's not just Julio whose development is progressing. Next door in the chimp nursery, 3-year-old Brian is about to have his first outdoor experience.
I am getting too old for all this, you know. It's official.
Brian really needs somewhere to burn off his excess energy, and the outside area of the chimp nursery is the perfect space, with a helping hand from animal manager Jeremy.
Hello, young man. Come on. Who's that? Shall we have a look round? What do you reckon? There's Andy. You know Sal. There's Lulu.
Brian's definitely lacking in confidence when it comes to being outdoors. It's a big thing for him to take in. To help Brian feel more comfortable, only dominant female Sally and Lulu are outside.
This is much better because it's controlled. You see, now he can have a look round in a nice, comfortable situation. And, you know, he can get an idea of everything. Right, you know, he's obviously calmer while I'm holding him. So he can get an idea of the whole situation without getting too worried. Oh, yes, I love you too. He's a good boy. Here you go, Sal. Sal, look, he wants to say hi. Hello. Here we go. There you go. I'm with you. Yeah, don't worry, this is good. This is good. Because he's nervous, and that's good because then he isn't going to get independent. There you go, Lulu. Hello, sweetheart. There, you can touch her. You can touch.
Brian is just starting to explore his surroundings.
This is not good.
But later, the 3-year-old learns a harsh but important lesson when he encounters the electric fence.
Lee, we turn it off.
Luckily, dominant female Sally is on hand to comfort him. At the other side of the park, 2-year-old orangutan Kai is out and about showing off. Kai is totally at ease with his surroundings, even way up on the high ropes. Kai's mum, Xiao Kuai, is now happy to let her confident toddler explore by himself. As far as Kai's concerned, he's all grown up. Having mum around just cramps his style. Last year, Kai wasn't quite so steady on his feet. He was grateful to have mum around then, and she was happy to be right by his side whenever he needed her. But that was then, and this is now. Kai's happy to soak up attention from whomever he can in the group, and he makes sure he gets his fair share of attention. Luckily for Kai, it seems he's just too cute to resist. And his sweet nature actually gives the older females in the group a vital lesson. Orangutans don't always appear to have natural mothering instincts. They learn how to be good mothers from their own mothers. Xiao Lan and the other rescued female orangs were stolen from their mums at a young age, so nobody knows if they'll look after their own babies. Maybe Kai will give them the practice they need. Amazingly, he even works his charms on grumpy Amy. She doesn't do babies and prefers spending time in her own company. But it certainly looks like she's enjoying playtime with little Kai. But Kai's a typical kid, and it's not long before he gets bored of playing. Exploring is much more fun. And now he's got his head for heights, the higher the better. Back in the chimp nursery, Brian is beginning to feel more comfortable with the outside space. For the animal's safety, the enclosures are fitted with an electric fence. This prevents the primates from climbing out and harming themselves or anyone else.
I'm just testing the fence here. Obviously, he's got to learn the electric fence, and I've got the voltage really low because I don't want to hurt him. But he was just touching it a couple of minutes ago, and I'm just checking that it is working. But it is, it's working fine. He's obviously well hard. No, don't touch that while you're on me.
But it is vital that Brian learns not to touch the electric fence, even if he has to learn the hard way.
Right, come here. Come here. Now, come here. Don't touch it. Come here. Me, we turn it off. That's good.
This may seem harsh, but it's the only way Brian will learn.
Good girl, Sally. Come here. Come on. Good boy. There we go. He's learnt now. Touch that again, will you? Hey, good boy. Good boy. He's learnt the electric fence, and he might have to learn it again yet. Some of them have to learn it twice. It knocks him back. It takes the wind out of his sail. You know, he's not quite so cocky now. So, and that's normal. You know, it's bound to happen. He'll get over it.
Chimpanzees are very resilient, but just to make sure Brian is okay, Jeremy will go outside with him a few more times. Brian's intelligent and lively indoors, so he'll soon be just as confident outdoors. Next time, baby orangutan Dinda gets to grips with her outside enclosure.
Good girl.
While stump-tailed macaque Coco has difficulty with hers. And woolly monkey Kuna has her second baby. But a tough decision has to be made.
Whenever Kuna moves around, the baby's legs and tail are hanging.
With the past history of the animal, I'd do it. I'd go for it now and take the baby.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. Little Linger's confidence deserts her as she takes her first steps on British soil.
What we hadn't realised is that she's never actually walked on grass before.
An operation on chimp Brian's teeth reveals the damage caused from his traumatic past life.
This is more interesting than I thought.
And stump-tailed macaque Coco gets a helping hand.
Why walk when you can have a ride?
It's early morning at Monkey World, and over in the orangutan nursery, baby Linger has arrived from Paris. But she needs some encouragement from Allison to take her first steps outside.
What we hadn't realised is that she's never actually walked on grass before. So this is all a bit of a new experience for her, and the first of many, I hazard to say. She's quite curious and gregarious, because as a complete stranger to her, I'm shocked that she's sort of so open and friendly and welcoming to me. So that's a good sign, you know, with everybody that she has to meet in the orangutan nursery in the coming days. It's going to be very good that she's gregarious.
Linger might be confident with people, but she's not with the big wide world outside her travelling box. The team needs a plan. In Paris, Jeremy discovered something about Linger's character that may just help them.
Very polite. She's obviously a professional eater. But we can use that to our advantage.
And at the park, her appetite is indeed their bargaining tool.
And she had another drink.
And why settle for one grape when a whole bag is available?
Oi, what are you doing? My bag. My bag.
Linger is no fool. It's back to the safety of her travelling box.
You didn't teach this thing some manners.
No, I reckon she got that from you in the last 2 days.
The little 2-year-old's love of food is more important to her than her fear of grass, and it's not long before she's following a grape trail around the enclosure. And now she's out, Allison's going to do her best to keep Linger out of the box.
Yeah, I've sort of sat in the entrance to the box, so it isn't so easy for her. She can always push past, but it isn't quite so easy for her just to go strolling back in. And she's starting to mooch about and check things out.
Linger's French keepers travelled with her to Monkey World.
Hey, Linger!
And they're really helping her settle down. Linger had better take full advantage of having the enclosure and food to herself, because tomorrow she's going to meet her new family, and she'll have to learn to share. Over in the chimp nursery, Brian has been separated from the rest of the group. He's been at the park for a few weeks now. He's settling in well and loves putting animal manager Jeremy through his paces.
Go on, leave me alone. No. Stop it. His greatest pleasure in life is to have a fight. So I go in there and say, hello, Brian, and yeah, we'll have a fight. OK, we've had a fight and you've had your laugh. Now, can we relax for a while? No, we can't relax. We'll have another fight. No. You know, I'm getting a bit old for it. Can we just do something else for a minute? No, we're going to have another fight. I'm too old. I'm too tired. And I don't like you.
Brian looks healthy enough, but his past may be catching up with him. Before coming to Monkey World, he was being trained as a beach photographer's prop in Mexico.
Good boy, Brian.
When Allison and her late husband Jim first met Brian, they were shocked by what they found. All but 4 of his teeth had been knocked out. His owner didn't want him biting the tourists he was being forced to pose with.
We've seen it before with many primates where the front teeth get removed, but never all of them. So we were trying to figure out how somebody could have, you know, it would have been a big operation to remove every single tooth in the poor little guy's head.
You come be with me.
Chimps grow 2 sets of teeth, just like humans. Brian's lost his baby teeth, so he still has a set of permanent teeth yet to grow. And the team are taking no chances. Brian's adult teeth could have been damaged by harsh treatment. It's important to find out just how much harm has been done. Vets John Lewis and David Harding are here to run x-rays and carry out any medical attention that little Brian might need.
Don't ever assume that an animal isn't in pain, because it's not good for them to show it. If you show you're in pain, then you're weak, and if you're weak, you're going to be capitalised upon. So, and he's so tough anyway. I mean, he could be in agony or not. I don't think he is, but, you know, we'll sort it out.
Later, wildlife vet John Lewis is concerned by what he finds.
It's rotten. It's the wrong colour, which indicates it's probably dead. It has to go, so I may as well get on with it while the x-rays are being developed.
And at the other side of the park, stump-tailed macaque Coco has settled in well. She's even got 2 geriatric boys all to herself.
I don't think they're in love, but they're not grumbling at each other like old people do.
Inside the chimpanzee nursery, Monkey World's youngest chimps, Ash and Rodders, have been given toy balls to play with. But it looks like Rodders is more interested in the box. Playtime is just as vital for young chimps as it is for human kids. It allows them to learn, develop and find their own unique personalities. This pair are now 2 years old. Their mums unfortunately rejected them, but being around the same age means they can grow up together. Rodders and Ash couldn't be more different. For Rodders, the balls are all about having fun. But Ash is more inquisitive. She's trying to crack the balls open, just in case there's a hidden treat waiting for her inside. Back with Brian. He's safely under anaesthetic in the medical room and is being prepared for his x-rays. Wildlife vet John Lewis needs these so he can assess the damage caused to Brian's mouth from having his teeth knocked out.
The x-rays have been taken, they now need to be developed, so we'll wait for them to be developed. And while we're waiting, we're going to have a look at the mouth, see if there's anything obvious I can just remove, like little tips of, you know, temporary teeth or whatever. So I can be doing that while the x-rays are being developed. When they come back, we can confirm that I'm taking out all I need to take out. So what actually has he got left in here?
John immediately spots a problem with one of Brian's remaining teeth.
That looks like dead old tooth to me. But the question is whether he's got roots up here, which the x-rays will help to tell us.
Although chimpanzees are very good at masking pain, this tooth is likely to be causing him discomfort.
It's rotten. It's the wrong colour, which indicates it's probably dead. It's moving, which it shouldn't do. So even if that were a permanent tooth, it has to go. So I may as well get on with it while the x-rays are being developed. Just trying to see the extent of the rotten tooth. But I can feel another tooth behind it. Well, in fact, literally behind it. So it looks as if this tooth is actually sitting in front of, not on top of, but in front of another tooth. And I rather think that we've got a temporary to the front that's probably disturbing a permanent tooth erupting, trying to erupt. And I don't know whether, I was wondering why I could feel so much tooth here, but actually I think it's another tooth. That is very odd.
Brian's only 3, so he should still have his baby teeth. but as they were forcibly removed, his adult teeth are coming through prematurely.
Perfectly normal molars coming through there. And where my thumb is, looks like the tip of a perfectly normal canine.
John suspects that Brian's adult tooth is directly behind the rotten one. He needs to be very cautious.
Before I go digging any further around the back of what I think is the temporary tooth that has to come out, I want to be sure that I'm not going to damage the tip of the canine coming through. So I'm just going to hang fire. He's all right, so I've got no time pressure. The x-rays will be here in about 5 minutes.
Later on, the results are back, and they are not what wildlife vet John Lewis expected.
It is a permanent, you know. And it's a shattered permanent. This is more interesting than I thought.
And in Paddy's troop, little Eddie is growing up fast. But how will she take to another baby in the group?
The primate care staff will do everything possible to keep Eddie happy so that Mum can get on with what she needs to do with the next step. Hopefully she gets pregnant and has a baby.
At Monkey World in the medical room, wildlife vet John Lewis is assessing the damage caused to chimp Brian's mouth. Before coming to the park, Brian was being trained as a beach photographer's prop and had his teeth forcibly removed. The x-rays are back. And, after close inspection, the results are not what John suspected. He believed Brian had a rotten baby tooth, but...
It is a permanent, you know. And it's a shattered permanent tooth. This is more interesting than I thought.
Because you can't see a permanent.
He believed the problem tooth was a temporary with an adult one behind, but this is not the case. And even though the tooth is permanent, it's rotten, so will still need to be removed.
And out it comes. Oh, yeah. Very damaged tooth.
Yeah.
Gosh, that is weird, isn't it?
It does look very strange.
It looks like a rather small permanent tooth, but it's been shattered or broken in earlier life. It's distorted, it hasn't got the right kind of root structure. There should be a longer root on it. You can see the enamel's been damaged here.
Yeah.
And that piece, presumably, at one point, wasn't there at all.
It's likely this tooth was shattered when Brian had his temporary teeth knocked out in Mexico. Only time will tell if more of his permanent teeth have been damaged.
Yeah, I'm happy we've taken out an abnormal broken tooth. Fine, so that problem is over. But I want the dentist to now look at the quality of the permanent teeth coming through and the number of permanent teeth coming through and so on. And then we can make a prediction, a more accurate prediction as to what will happen next. But I think he'll probably be okay now. So it's good.
Brian won't need any stitches. This hole ought to heal within a week, and it shouldn't cause him any pain. He's going to feel a lot more comfortable after this operation.
Oh, yeah?
Later, Hanania's adult chimp group prove you are never too old to have fun. And stump-tailed macaque Coco is settling well into park life, with a helping hand from animal manager Jeremy. Monkey World's 59 chimpanzees are split into 4 groups. The largest and most settled is Paddy's troop. The birth of Eddie 5 years ago contributed greatly to the harmony of the group. She is the park's first chimp to grow up with her mum, Susie, and extended family.
Little baby Eddie, she's grown up, you know, tremendously within the group. It's brought the group together. You know, and Eddie's now 5, and she's, you know, virtually fully weaned. Since Eddie came along, the group calmed down so much more. It was amazing, you know. It really brought the group so much closer together. So we've had a meeting, and it's been decided that we'll take Susie off the pill again and let Susie have another baby.
This isn't the park's normal practice.
The policy of Monkey World is, with the chimpanzees, there's a no breeding policy. The reason for that is the background that the chimps have come from, that don't have the natural instincts to actually rear youngsters of their own. But when Susie got pregnant and gave birth, we were all amazed and shocked. She held Eddie the right way, Eddie was suckling, you know, everything we could have asked for, Susie did. So 5 years down the line, it's been decided, you know, that we'll give Susie another opportunity to get pregnant again. But, you know, we'll wait and see what happens.
In the wild, chimpanzees give birth every 6 to 8 years, so the timing is right for Susie to have another baby. And it'll be interesting to see how her first daughter, Eddie, will react.
Eddie, she's been spoiled rotten by the whole group, you know. So we're all sort of thinking, well, you know, is she going to be spoiled? Is she going to get upset? You know, but the primate care staff will do everything possible to keep Eddie happy so that Mum can get on with what she needs to do with the next step. Hopefully she gets pregnant and has a baby. But, you know, fingers crossed she'll be okay.
It's not just babies like Ash and Rodders who enjoy playtime. Some of Hananya's group have also been given toy balls to play with. Hopefully they'll get as much out of them as the little ones do. There's also a new face in the group. 8-year-old Johnny has recently moved in from the chimp nursery. Johnny lived here for 5 years, and as she grew, so did her confidence. The chimp nursery is used as a stepping stone for babies who are either rejected by their mums or arrive at the park at a young age. Sally is the park's designated chimp foster mum. She teaches all who pass through the nursery about chimp life, so it's easier for them when it's time to move on. And her perfect teaching skills have built up the young chimp's confidence to such an extent that, remarkably, Johnny's already beginning to show signs of dominance over some of Hananya's troop. She's happy to take what she wants from whom she wants, and the others let her do it. Johnny's confidence is a testament to the park's methods. Having chimps grow up with chimps is vital to their development. If Johnny carries on like this, she will be living with the whole troop in no time, and it looks like the troop are going to have to look out. Monkey World is home to 11 stump-tailed macaques. The newest member is 21-year-old Coco. She's been living at the park for the last 8 months and is settling well. She's been teamed up with the geriatric boys, Roland and Gerald.
Roland's a really, really old man and he doesn't do an awful lot. And Gerald's a very, very old man, not quite as old as Roland, and he doesn't do a lot either. They've both still got attitude. Gerald more than Roland, but I wouldn't say they're really close, but they get on fine. You know, they're not, I don't think they're in love, but they're like grumbling at each other like old people do. So they just grumble, you know, grumpy old men and a grumpy old woman, and they just grumble at each other, and that's fine. Everybody's happy.
Many of the stumpies are old. They all arrived at the park overweight and unfit, so their enclosure has been designed with their physical capabilities in mind. This may be the monkey equivalent of a nursing home, but all of the stumpies, including Coco, are improving.
She's never going to be an athlete, but she can do everything she needs to do. She can climb around where she needs to go. She can do everything she needs to do. Everything she's got here is going to help her and make her more flexible, make her more mobile, make her more comfortable.
Before coming to Monkey World, Coco spent 20 years in a small cage in a pet shop in Budapest. She was extremely overweight and unfit. No one knows how severely this life may have affected her, physically and mentally. her rehabilitation was carefully planned. A skin disorder had to be treated, she needed to lose weight, and she needed to become more mobile. Animal manager Jeremy became a firm friend.
In fact, very often she'll go to sleep in like bliss as I'm brushing her hair, and that can only be a positive thing.
Today, Coco may be 21, but she can still act like a child. Particularly at bedtime, when she needs her best friend to tuck her in for the night.
Now, Coco has only just started to come outside properly, and she's very good, aren't you, sweetheart? But sometimes she's not all that keen on going back to bed, and she'll just sit there and just sit there. So we get the other blokes in, and then I'll come in and carry her in. And first time I did it, she just sat there and she put her little arms up, you know, come on, pick me up, obviously. So I did. So that's what we're doing now. She's just going to bed in our time rather than her time. Because we actually have a home to go to, Coco. You all right? Are you comfy there? He's a good girl. Come on, otherwise they'll have eaten all the food. You wouldn't want that now, would you? Hey? Okay, Anne-Sophie. In you go. Good girl. Okay. There you go. It's quite simple, really. You know, why walk when you can have a ride?
Next time, Linger meets her new family in the orangutan nursery, but Jolie is not impressed.
Jolie thinks of Ame as her mum, and she's not going to share her mum.
In the Bachelor Pad, a pile of blankets brings out Buxom's greedy side. And chimpanzee Jimmy has a very serious leg wound.
I can see how close the bone is to the surface, and it's extremely close. And yes, he could lose that leg, easily.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today's programme is a Monkey Life special. In Vietnam. Monkey World is embarking on an exciting new project, their first foreign sanctuary for endangered primates, a new gibbon rescue centre, protecting these rare animals for the future.
Monkey World as a rescue centre has taken 20 years to build up. We're trying to put a rescue centre here in just a few months.
We trek through dense jungle in a search for golden cheek gibbons in the wild.
Ow, it's the gibbons.
But will the team catch more than just a glimpse of these elusive creatures? And at Monkey World, Peanut and her family experience life in the treetops for the very first time in their new home. In the past 20 years, Monkey World has rescued and rehabilitated 185 apes and monkeys from all corners of the globe. But their latest project means that many rescued primates can remain in their native country. "6,000 miles away, in Vietnam. The Monkey World team is breaking ground on their biggest international project to date. A rescue centre for golden cheek gibbons. Vietnam is home to some of the rarest wildlife in the world. Poverty in rural communities has led to endangered wildlife being the target of the illegal poaching and smuggling trades. Without help, golden cheek gibbons could face extinction.
We knew that there was a big demand and trade in them illegally on the black market, and yet nobody knew anything about them in the wild, except for most conservationists were saying, actually, there are other species that are more critical. Well, it was a very sort of grand statement to make when you don't actually know anything about the golden cheek gibbon. So I guess at that point in time, which was about 4 or 5 years ago, we decided, well, perhaps this is something that actually we could do, that Monkey World Ping Tung Rescue Center and the Vietnamese government could grab hold of and actually do something significant for an endangered species before it faces extinction.
5 years in the planning, the new sanctuary will be run by Monkey World and Taiwan's Ping Tung Rescue Center. Joining forces with the Vietnamese, the three nations will build the first official rescue center of its kind in this country.
So I'm very pleased to be here today to break ground for this rescue center, but really this is only a small part of the overall project where we are trying to aim to create the highest level of scientific work for conservation, for welfare, and to get the gibbons back out into the forest. So thank you very much and all the best for a successful future. Thank you.
The centre will be built in Vietnam's largest and most diverse conservation zone, Cat Tien National Park. Covering almost 80,000 hectares, Cat Tien has been called the Amazon of Asia. At the entrance to the park is Tien Island, which will house the rescue centre.
Much bigger area than we had ever dreamed of or even considered, and that's how the whole process got started. We came across to the island and did an initial survey and scout through, and it was perfect. There are primary trees growing here. It's mostly secondary forest, but it's just beautiful. It's an island, it's isolated, yet it's right alongside of the national park, so very easy to bring utilities and labor in to look after a rescue center. And with careful design and management, it wouldn't have to have a big impact upon the island. And it was all agreed. Everybody was unanimous, including the government. Everybody was very happy for an endangered primate rescue center to be set up on Tien Island at Cat Tien National Park.
Monkey World's operations director, Jez Hermer, has joined Allison in Vietnam, and they're surveying the site.
Just simply amazing. In 24 hours, our road has been cleared effectively, and it's all been done by hand. So they've just thrown manpower at this and done the deed, which is really nice to see. Actually, is looking around, they've left quite a few of the big trees that might have sort of encroached upon what is going to be our central road. So they are being quite sensitive to what's out here and not just mowing everything down. And now we can get a better look heading into the middle of the island and where the primate center is going to be.
The rescue centre will be home to 20 gibbons at a time. They will be rehabilitated and, where possible, returned to the wild, making way for more gibbons that need help. It'll be a continuous process.
We've got to start recruiting staff, training staff, we've got to start getting equipment in and just preparing the whole thing ready for the first animals to move in here sometime next year. If you think about Monkey World as a rescue centre, it's taken 20 years to build up. We're trying to put a rescue centre here in just a few months. There's a whole raft of stuff that's got to be organised, and so it's going to take quite a bit of focus from us back in the UK to make sure this is on track.
Later at Monkey World, one gibbon family gets to experience life as it should be, high up in the treetops. It's 4 a.m. in Vietnam. The team are heading deep into the jungle. They're hoping to catch a glimpse of golden cheek gibbons in their natural habitat. Monitoring the wild population of the gibbons will help everyone understand more about the needs of the rescued primates when they're brought to the new centre, and when they're re-released back into the wild. But in order to find the gibbons, they need to hear them call. It's a waiting game.
They normally call an hour after dawn, so we've still got some time. But the thing is, you know that they're really close, you know they're within 500 metres of you. But without that trigger of a call, and they're so silent otherwise.
Monkey World keeper Marina has been studying Cat Tien's wild golden-cheeked gibbons for the last 4 years. The group she's hoping to show Allison is known as Howe family.
It's been about an hour since sunup. We haven't heard him. We heard a neighboring group, but not this group. So I think we're going to head back towards the center and we'll take it slowly and see if we can eventually catch up with Howe family.
Very little is known about the golden-cheeked gibbons, as they're incredibly difficult to follow through the dense jungle they occupy. Poaching has also made them extremely shy of people.
The seasons make a huge difference here, and it's coming into dry season now, so every step is a crunch and a crack and a break of a branch or leaf litter. And there's just really, it's really difficult to move quietly through the forest right now.
At last, the team hear familiar calls.
They called for 12 minutes, which is their average time, which wasn't enough to get to them. But they're probably within 150 meters of here, hopefully at a fruit tree. So just waiting for some kind of sign to find out exactly where they are.
Marina has been living in Vietnam for the last 2.5 years. She's endured the jungle for up to 2 weeks at a time, and her findings are going to be crucial for the new rescue centre. Allison wants to ensure the environment and conditions they build at the centre are perfect for the rehabilitation of the rescued gibbons.
Marina's just done an absolutely fantastic job for 2 years studying the ecology and biology of the golden-cheeked gibbons. Most people say, well, what does that really mean? The ecology means how does the animal impact and interact with its environment. So that basically covers everything about your life history. Marina's work in Cat Tien National Park has been unparalleled. It will be probably the definitive work on golden-cheeked gibbons in the wild. Indeed, many people have failed where Marina has succeeded.
Mr. Bing is a forest ranger and tracker. He's been working with Marina since she arrived in Vietnam. Unfortunately, the gibbons are not Marina's study group.
I'm gutted.
Marina may be disappointed she didn't get to see her gibbons, but catching a glimpse of these shy creatures is fantastic for the team.
It is really difficult. It's secondary forest, which means there's a lot of low-level shrubbery, so you can't go easily. Like in primary forest, the ground's all clear and you can just fly. And other gibbon species, some of them call for 40 minutes, for an hour and a half, and they call 2-3 times per day. But golden-cheeked gibbons here call within the hour after dawn, sometimes just like 4 minutes, on average 12. And if there's a young male in the group, that's when it can go longer, up to 40 minutes. And it's just once per day, that's it. The only other time you'll hear a peep after them if there's a boundary battle or something, they're scared, and that's just females alarm calling. So they don't give you much chance to find them.
Coming up, the team discover snares and traps.
This is less than 72 hours, definitely.
It's a chilling reminder that illegal poaching still exists in the national park. And, even worse, they see the full extent of the damage a snare can cause. In Vietnam, the Monkey World team are back in the forest of Cat Tien National Park. Marina wants to find Howe family, one of her golden-cheeked gibbon study groups. Before Marina's 4-year-long research into Cat Tien's golden-cheeked gibbons, very little was known about them. But in order to stand the best chance of releasing them back to the wild, it's vital to know as much as possible. The team aren't having much luck. Spotting the reticent gibbons in this large forest is proving extremely difficult. But they do spot another rare primate.
Which are really sort of quite big-bodied monkeys, and they've actually got a chambered stomach. They're very unique. They're ruminant digesters, so all they eat really are leaves, and then they sit like a cow in the tree and digest. So it's actually a really good opportunity to try and see the dukes because they're pretty calm, and they'll just sit there digesting their breakfast and burping a lot and looking back at us.
Duke langurs are classified as critically endangered. They too fall victim to the illegal wildlife and smuggling trades, so the new rescue centre will also offer sanctuary to them. The Vietnamese government and forest rangers known as the Kim Lam work hard to preserve its wildlife. But despite international treaties and domestic laws, the trade continues. Further into their trek, the team finds snares and traps that have been laid just hours ago.
This is less than 72 hours, definitely. Look at that.
Look, this is...
As fresh as anything.
It's brand new.
This is totally illegal. There's Mr. Bing and his Kim Lam, his rangers, patrol the forest, trying to keep the people out. But it's quite a small area. There's a lot of poor people surrounding Cat Tien, and they just keep coming in.
They have found laid branches and leaves. This is the snare line. The animal is forced to find an opening, which leads straight to the trap.
So if you were an animal and you came along here, that's what's going to happen to you. And it cuts in, and you turn your leg off.
But what generally happens is it doesn't kill them. So it will just leave them to sit there for days, weeks on end sometimes, just dying a slow, lingering death, which is a great shame.
When I was here 2 years ago, I never saw any snare lines because this is very close to the headquarters. It's right next to the headquarters of the Kim Lam. Yeah, it's just saying lots of people are liking it at the moment and more are coming in. And this was the best protected area within the park, so if hunters are here, it means the other areas maybe are getting worse.
The national park is now having to employ more forest rangers to keep the poachers out.
Now, people have been hunting like this around here for years and years, but, you know, the forest is getting smaller, the concentration of hunting is getting much tighter, the effect upon the natural environment is getting much more severe, and it's an issue of education, essentially. The local hunters don't necessarily need to come in here anymore and hunt these small mammals. It's not essential for their survival, but they do come in as part of their cultural heritage, and until somebody can get the educational points across that actually this is damaging the forest irreparably, you know, this is never going to stop.
Sadly, in just one day, the team find many different traps that they need to dismantle. And later, they come face to face with the reality of what happens to an animal that's been caught by a snare. It's a Duke langur, one of the rarest primates in the world.
And, you know, you see these little signs all over his body of what his previous life was. And now that's tragically over.
Over the last 7 years, Monkey World has rehabilitated 8 golden-cheeked gibbons at the park in England. It was the only suitable place for them to go. One family Pung-yo, Peanut and their young son Tien are about to experience something new. Attempting to make life as natural as possible for their resident gibbons, the team has created a new 2-acre enclosure, including a large wooded area. This will enable the gibbons to behave as they would in the wild. Dad Pung-yo is first on the scene. But Mum Peanut has her youngster to think of, so she's more cautious. But not for long. The lure of the forest is just too tempting. It's a great moment for the primate care staff.
It's the most wonderful thing to see these gibbons in the trees. They've been stolen from the wild as infants, taken into the illegal pet trade, and they're using their trees like they've never been away. Just really goes to show that the natural instinct is there. They know how to handle those trees. It's so often said that you can't put these animals back into a natural environment because they won't know how to do it. Peanut and Pung-yo know exactly what trees are for. They know how to use them. They're there. They're using a forest.
Tien is now 11 months old and a confident young gibbon. This is his first tree climbing experience and he clearly loves it. Gibbons move at great speeds and can jump around 40 feet. In the wild, they spend their lives living high in the tree canopy, and it seems that's just what this family are going to do. Peanut and Pung-yo were stolen from the forests of Vietnam. Their son, Tien, is actually named after Tien Island, and one day it's hoped they can return to where they belong. Back in Vietnam, in Cat Tien's headquarters, Allison and Marina are about to see firsthand the damage a snare can cause to an animal. This is a black-shanked Linger, one of the most endangered primates in the world. He's lost his leg and would have endured a slow and painful death. Just a few hours ago, the team were lucky enough to see a wild troop on their trek through the jungle.
You try not to get too emotional about these things and just deal with the practicalities. But when you start looking at him, it's just really difficult because you see signs of his previous life. He's got a cut on his face and a torn ear. He's sort of coming up to adulthood, coming to be a mature male. He was probably challenging the adult male in the group to become the dominant male. And, you know, you see these little signs all over his body of what his previous life was. And now that's tragically over.
Marina is taking hair samples and the vet is gathering information. Hopefully they can learn something about this species from this incredibly sad situation. Cat Tien is the most protected national park in Vietnam, and law enforcement is taken very seriously. At the ranger station, the poachers of the Linger have been caught and are in handcuffs. They will certainly receive a prison sentence for this crime.
Once word gets out that the authorities are going to seize the animals and prosecute the smugglers, the trade will stop because nobody will want to spend the money on trying to steal langurs or gibbons from the wild, especially if they know they're going to get thrown in jail for it.
Next time. In Vietnam, the team find gibbons living as pets, but will they be able to come to the new rescue centre?
Would he be happy to consider her future if she were able to go back to the forest in the next couple of years, if that were possible? Would he consider that for her?
At Monkey World, young orangutan Kai discovers, when it comes to food, being cute means nothing. And in Paddy's chimp group, Susie gives birth to her second baby.
She's looking after the baby, she's holding the baby. We've actually seen it suckle now, so things are looking very positive for everything to go well.